All right, everybody, here we go. Today is Memorial Day, Monday, May 25th, 2026. My name is Robb Carter. Welcome to the future. Number one radio / podcast in America. What are we doing working on Memorial Day, Isaiah?
Right?
Everybody's off. We decided to work.
Everyone's going to be able to watch the show then.
I got a new set.
I love it.
I'm not a set designer, but I thought, you know what? I got my wife stacked up all the books outside of my office.
Yeah.
I said, there you go. If you want to
Get
make
them out of here.
You go. Well, I got two sides to the office. I got curtains on one side, and my wife did a whole thing on the other side. So I basically have two bites at the apple. And for some reason, I like the curtains in the back more than the other one, and I'm not sure it's better, but that's the way it is. What'd you do over the weekend? I got to tell you about my story real fast. We'll let everybody start to click on and catch up to us. But I went down to Stuart, Florida, to meet with. There was a get together that Ann Vandersteel put together for Paul Renner, a guy named Chris Gleason, Jim Gale, who we've talked about before. He's got the food farm down in Central Florida, not paying taxes on it, has challenged the government. He says that a government official came to his home and was about to give him some trouble. And Jim Gale said, "Man, you guys are what's destroying the whole situation here. What are you doing? I bought this land. I own this land. I'm making food on this land because we should be good stewards of the planet." He said by the time he got done with this guy, he was starting to tear up, said the government would not bother him anymore, and took off.
Wow.
Yeah. So that is Jim Gale. He's running for president. I think I'm going to have him on this week. We were talking this morning about having him on. We're going to have Marcus Carey on. Marcus Carey was the attorney for Cynthia West in the MMTLP / Thomas Massey situation, if you remember that. So we'll have Marcus Carey on, I think, tomorrow morning at 10.
Okay.
That's interesting. So we have a big week. I mean, a lot of guests this week. On Wednesday, we have Phil Turney. If you just saw the interview that Candace Owens did with Hunter Biden, she starts by saying the best and biggest interview I ever had was Phil Turney. Phil Turney is an important character in the world, and people need to know his name because Fox News and CNN and ABC and CBS and all those corporate outlets will not allow him on. What's interesting about him is he is one of the few living survivors of the USS Liberty attack, where Israel, our greatest ally in the world, bombed an American ship to drag us into war. As a false flag. A lot of people think October 7th was a false flag. A lot of people think 9/11 was a false flag. A lot of people think the Gulf of Tonkin and Vietnam was a false flag. A lot of people believe that your own country creates a problem so that you are drug into a war that you want to be in, and you just need a reason, right? So this is what's going on. I got to fix my screen here real fast. I don't like it as is right here.
Throwing you off?
Throwing me off just a little bit. So anyway, we'll have him on Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Phil Turney.
That'll be exciting.
One of the best interviews that you can have in the world right now is Phil Turney, because this is the end of the World War II generation and the Vietnam generation, right? So the World War II people, there's only a few left. The Vietnam era is right behind it, and those people are starting to get into their 70s and 80s. So you got to get them while they're here. And this guy has a story to tell. He is positive behind any shadow of a doubt, and so are the people that are with him. These USS Liberty survivors that say Israel attacked us on purpose, no doubt about it. And the American government covered it up, which makes you wonder if the American government is aligned with the Israeli government in the intelligence game, and that is what controls the government. They just need to create the scenarios around the world so that our government has to react. Does seem that way, doesn't it?
Yeah. I just watched a video.
Yeah, who was it that was just saying that over the weekend?
I'm not sure who was saying it over the weekend, but I just watched a video that I still have pulled up right here. The caption on the post says, State Department's spokesperson's soul leaves his body when asked about Israel's 200 secret nuclear weapons and how it doesn't breach the U.S. aid law.
Right. You know, it's illegal, right, for us to have any relationship with Israel because Israel has nuclear weapons. Everybody knows it, but the world doesn't know it. They have not admitted that they have them, but everybody knows that they have them, which means we're not even supposed to be in business with Israel. But, you know, we make exceptions, Isaiah.
Hey.
We make exceptions. You understand, because they're our greatest ally in the world.
Yes.
Right? If we're going to fight a war, we need Israel.
That we need to team up to take on Iran.
Absolutely. We love Israel. It's the greatest. Unbelievable.
Team America.
Team America. Where is it? Let me get that for you real fast. Hang on. I got that one. Here we go.
Netanyahu leads Team America.
Fake.
Nope.
Everything
has changed.
What did you do? You flipped it.
Freedom is the only terrorist. Your game is through, 'cause now you have to answer to America.
Team America. It's a great song for Memorial Day.
There it is. Team America, baby.
Thanks to our veterans.
Thanks to our veterans. No doubt about that. I want to start there, I guess, before we get into the show, is thank you all to all the veterans. We are big supporters of the military on this show. I disagree with what's going on politically, but anybody that's brave enough to go fight for freedom, I'm in and I'm down, and I will forever be grateful. Where do you want to start today?
Yeah.
You know, where do you want to go?
Well, yeah, tell us more about the weekend. For me, I had a great weekend with Ivy. It was her second birthday, so we had a great birthday party. But
she's the cutest thing going.
I know she's definitely got my heart and my wallet. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, it never ends. By the way,
yeah, never ends. But the other thing is that what I was talking to you about this morning that my wife reminded us about is the listener who recognized me for the first time.
Oh yeah, your first bout with fame.
Yeah, it was so random. I'm just walking into the store and I'm exhausted. I'm just, I'm just walking in there. It's been a long weekend. I'm going to get some. It's like you return the glass milk jugs and you get more milk jugs at the store. And so I'm bringing in these milk jugs here, and it's a local store here in St. Clair. So someone says, "Hey, Isaiah." So I'm imagining, oh, it's someone's to talk to me because I'm the alderman. That's typically where people recognize me. I'm like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" He goes, "Oh, I listen to the show every day." I said, "Oh my gosh. Oh, hey, thanks for listening. That's crazy." And so I was just taken off guard because I'm used to getting recognized for being an alderman, and he recognized me because of the show. And that was very interesting to me because it means that the show reaches far and wide, because you know how far in the country I live out here in St. Clair, outside of St. Louis. So that was pretty cool to me.
We've got some people that pay attention out in your neck of the woods to the show for sure.
Yeah, I don't care about being famous, but it just makes it cool to me that the message is reaching, because he's a young guy like me too. So the message is reaching multi-generations and all around. So
fame, as I like to tell everybody, is an enormous pain in the ass. Nobody should wish fame upon anybody.
Fame is pain.
Try to keep it as down low as we possibly can to reach enough people so that we can make change, and we'll go from
there. My
wife
just asked me, she said, okay, because I had talked to her, I said, "Oh, we need to probably talk to our tax guy or someone about, or a financial advisor, someone about how do we get the house in like a trust or get it concealed so that our names aren't on the house anymore and things like that." Because I don't know if you've ever had this, but people, not to give people any ideas here, but people have made fake Facebook Marketplace posts with my address and said like, "Oh, come pick some stuff up at my house," because they're upset with me on Twitter or something like that. Yeah. And so,
you know what I find interesting about that though? People that are upset with me are establishment Republicans.
I know.
I don't get any feedback from Democrats. Democrats never bother me.
It's interesting.
Most people in the grassroots are on in the same game with me.
Yeah, interesting, because you're completely on the other side of what Democrats believe.
People that come after me, oddly enough, in the state of Missouri, they're all from the state of Missouri. Even the people, the establishment in Florida doesn't mess with me. The grassroots embrace me, but the establishment doesn't even acknowledge me. In the state of Missouri, it is the Republican. It's the bigwig Republicans that I bother. And I got to ask the voters, the Republican voters in the state of Missouri, one of the reasons that Real Talk and I were not a good fit. If I'm trying to get you to accomplish what you told me you wanted to get done on your party platform and you're not doing it, why are you mad at me? Yeah. Shouldn't you be mad at the other Republicans? Shouldn't you be talking about the other Republicans that are blocking you from getting those things done? It's like you have an opposition within your own party in the state of Missouri. Like there's the Republican Party that I guess wants to vote with the Constitution, try to do the right things, try to cut taxes, try to limit government, try to get the federal government out of your life. And then there's the other establishment Republicans that are taking the money, climbing the ladder, doing what they need to do to get ahead. So you have two factions, at least within the Republican Party. I side with the ones that are small government trying to get things done. And instead of them embracing me, I have the other side of the party coming after me, and very few of them are defending me, which is kind of odd, right? You would think that if I'm trying to get done what you say that you want to get done, it'd almost be embarrassing to come after me the way that they do. But I watch them on social media. I get this guy, Kirk Hilsinger, who probably is a decent guy. I mean, I don't know that he's a bad guy. A lot of these people that I disagree with, I don't necessarily think are bad guys. But every time I post something, he contradicts it. There's something Sentinel. I can't think of what it is. They're doing the same thing.
Liberty Sentinel. Yeah.
Liberty Sentinel. So I think that's every time I post something, they act like that nobody knows that I live in Florida. They act like nobody understands that they think that I'm getting money from like some big behind the scenes Wizard of Oz organization that is aligned with Democrats. They try to put this out there. Now, what they do,
I wish we were, Rob, right?
I think what they do is kind of ingenious. So they wait for me to post something, and they try to be the first person to post, so it populates at the very top.
Yeah.
And then they say something negative. So if you don't know who I am and you're scrolling through, you read what I say, and then you read a counter underneath. Now, the counter has nothing to do with what I'm saying. It's completely irrelevant, but they never answer past that point. I'm noticing the tricks that they use. They post something, and then I correct it, or I try to draw them out into a conversation, and they don't. It's just a hit and run. They reply, and they bounce. Isaiah, I'm just starting to notice Missouri politics. That's all.
It's what we were talking about. We didn't even talk about this on the show after we said we were going to talk about it, which is so funny the other day, is the how canceling we're not canceling people now, right? We're just not going to platform them.
Yeah. I say I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. I don't block anybody for any reason, unless they're cursing and just throwing everybody else off the trail because they're just trying to be so explicit that you can't have them around. Then I'll block them. But if it's just, Rob, you're wrong, you're an idiot, this, that, and the other, and I don't care. Bring it. And it doesn't bother me at all. Oh, but anyway, let me get to this before we do our first advertisers. Let me tell you about this trip. So I go down to Stuart, Florida. I meet with Jim Gale. He announces that he is running for president officially. Paul Renner, it was kind of a get-together for Paul Renner. Paul Renner is the former Speaker of the House in the state of Florida. He's running for governor. He seems like a Trump guy. He's against AI data centers, pro-Trump, says he knows how to get things done, military guy. Very impressive speech that he put together for everybody. But that's kind of who Paul Renner is. He's not really getting any traction just yet, but I don't know that it matters, right? I think Byron Donalds is the lead. This Jay Collins guy seems to be a very interesting character down in Florida. Then you have James Fishback, and you have Paul Renner trying to get some traction. He's got name recognition down here from being Speaker of the House. But the social media winner is James Fishback, and the establishment winner is Byron Donalds. And there it is. That's what I fear is going to happen. Just moving forward with.
Well, we got the Fox News debate coming up. I think that's going to be a big.
Fox News debate.
Yeah, you didn't know about that? Byron has refused to debate James Fishback for every other debate that they've had, but this is finally a debate that they're going to be able to get on stage. And
who's on the debate stage? Do you know?
Let's see. Let me look it up. I'll look it up.
So Fishback about the Donalds are going to go at it.
Yep, at least them.
Well, just think about the Republican Party, right? Just think of how hard they fought against the George Floyd stuff.
Yeah,
and Byron Donalds was pro George Floyd. So you have the Republican Party. Fox News was all over they were the adverse to all of the George Floyd, laws and commercials and constant coverage of George Floyd. And Byron Donalds was right in the middle of that. Yet he is the odds-on favorite to be the next Florida governor in the Republican Party. You can't make it up. Some of the stuff that goes on in the world, you just flat can't make it up.
Yep. Here we go. I'll throw this up so we can just read it together with everyone here.
Morning, Gary. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Kurt.
Everyone's coming in.
They get here eventually.
Oh yeah.
People don't like to wake up early on Monday morning when they're not working.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't either.
I have a feeling this will be probably more viewed at night.
Yeah, way more viewed later on. I have to almost guarantee that.
Yeah, it's a live show, but more people watch it after the show than they watch it as you're doing it live. Very, very interesting. It almost makes you wonder if we should do it live, but I got to do it live. I just feel like live is the better way to go. What'd you find?
That's the great thing, is that we can just hop on here, do it, and this is what's different than radio. Is the radio is not going to play your show again later.
Yeah, we're on all day.
We're on all day. This is why digital media is superior to traditional broadcast media. But this is the Grok summary from the trending, kind of the trending topic that was going on X.
Yep.
And so the 31-year-old CEO of Azoria Partners, if that's how you say it, revealed plans for a commercial-free Fox News debate on July 21st in Tampa against U.S. Rep. Byron Donalds, covering taxes, housing, healthcare, and reform. Donalds leads the polls at 54% to Fishback's 9%. It's gone up since then, but so this is everything on the breakdown. The moderator will ask questions through the course of the debate, alternating those questions between the candidates. Debate will be commercial free, surprisingly. Yes. There'll be no opening or closing statements. Questions will be posed to candidates in rotating order. The order will be determined by the candidates drawing numbers prior to the debate.
See, I don't like that. I think the way it should be, I don't think anybody should be involved except Fishback and Donalds. I don't think there should be any question from moderators. I don't think there should be anything. They should get 2 minutes to speak, flip it over to Byron Donalds for 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 minutes or however long you want it to be. And if there's a question that needs to be answered, they just press each other back and forth because you get to see how people maneuver when you take the moderators out. I
imagine that's what's going to happen because this is the same way I feel like that a lot of the presidential debates are set up, and then they end up just going and
they should do like Lincoln Douglas.
They gotta rein them back in. They're like, all right, give them their time to speak.
It'd be Lincoln Douglas. That's how it should be. Just let the two candidates get out of their way. Let them communicate with one another, and then let people see how they communicate with one another. Maybe give them a prompt of a topic, but maybe not a question. You need to do that. You don't need them. You don't need them there at all. James Fishback should have a list of things that he wants to talk about. Byron Donalds should have a list of things that he wants to talk about. If James Fishback wants to answer something because Byron Donalds goes, AI data centers are going to be the greatest thing ever. Think of all the jobs that we're going to be able to create by building this technical prison around you so that we can store all of your data forever, and we'll have so much control over our population because we'll have all the information that they won't have, but we'll have it. And then James Fishback can answer that question. See what I'm saying? He can answer it. I don't think they need moderators at all. I think they get in the way. I think they show their bias almost every single time. I think they have leading questions and they take people off of their mark. Just get out of the way and let the two guys go at it. That would be my take on it. So let's start with
debates are supposed to have moderators, but the debates that we see, typically they do. And
they do. But that doesn't make it right.
In formal debates, they always have a moderator because they always
doesn't make it right.
I'm just saying, hey, that's what formal debate is.
Yeah, it doesn't make it right that
whether you like it or not. That's
because
what it
traditionally we do something a certain way does not mean it's right. Listen, if I'm going to get into a debate, I don't need a moderator. I want to look right at Isaiah and I want to say, Isaiah, you go for 5 minutes. Tell me why you want to be the next governor of Florida. You tell me what your answers are. I'll be writing down my things that I want to respond to that. Then I'll tell you why I want to be governor. You write down the things that I say. You answer that. Then you say the next thing, and I'll bring the topics that are important to me. I don't need the moderator asking me about important topics. Right? Yeah. Because if neither person talks about an important topic to the population, then you kind of know they're both BS, right? You don't.
That's what I don't like about it. With that's why I say is.
But that would tell you who they are. That's the whole point. That tells you who they are. If neither person talks about taxes, property taxes in the state of Florida, if neither one bring it up,
or the economy,
you know who they are. You know what there are. Yeah. Because a lot of times,
gas prices.
You have two hacks debating.
Yeah.
You have two hacks debating on the stage, and it's which hack would you prefer? You're not getting anything done. You're not going to get anything changed. You just got two hacks debating. That's my take on it anyway. Let's talk about debates. Let's start there, and then I'll do my first run of advertisements. Let's start with good things that are going on in the country right now. I believe that some of the good things that are going on is the millennials are forcing debate. Good for the millennials. You're a millennial, aren't you? Isaiah? The millennials are starting to get the job done because they're forcing older people, my age and above, into conversations and debates so they can see where they're coming from. The younger people of today, the millennials, have started to figure out that the Fox News crowd is brainwashed beyond repair, and they want to be able to challenge what the Fox News viewers believe. I would have been in that camp. That's why I'm not mad at them. They call them boomers, but just say over 55. I don't know if that's boomers or not. What am I? I'm 56. What am I? Am I a boomer?
I think you might be Gen X.
Gen X, okay. I'm whatever I am.
Gen X, boomer, right on the edge there.
I've said it many times. I bought into all this stuff, and now I look at it and go, man, what was I thinking? What kind of craziness was I up to believe all that stuff for so long? But the millennials are dragging people out into conversations, which is going to be great for society if we can have debate and conversation, begin to talk back and forth with people we disagree with. It can only lead to good things. Remember what John F. Kennedy said: "Without debate, no nation and no people can survive." Let's start.
You're Gen X, right? Yeah, looks like it.
Gen X? Yeah. All right. Let's do clip number 17. This is Brandon Straka. So these are guys from InfoWars. This is Harrison Smith, Owen Schroyer, and who's the funny guy?
Alex Stein is on Real America's Voice. He's on Real America's Voice.
He's on Real America's Voice, and they're going after the Fox News boomer generation over just different topics. And Brandon Straka put it on. I think it's great. I'd like to do the exact same thing. I'd like me and you, Isaiah, to make a formal declaration on Memorial Day. How about you and I in a formal debate? It can be on their channel, my channel, publicly, however you want, with the people from Freedom Principle and Liberty Sentinel.
That'd be great.
Wouldn't that be fun?
That
So
will never happen.
we make a formal, because I got Mike Koslow, who's supposed to have a debate with me. Marcus Carey is coming on the show tomorrow. These are people I disagree with, but are willing to have a conversation. I think that's good.
Yep.
And I would like Freedom Principle, Liberty Sentinel, Kirk Hilsinger, any of those people that constantly are attacking me on social media, not necessarily attacking me, but contradicting everything that I say. Let's have a formal conversation about it. You might be right at the end of the day. Who knows? We might all learn something from you guys. We have a different perspective on what is going on in the world. We want to know how you're so self-assured about what is happening with AI data centers, the war with Iran, taxes, everything's going to work out just fine. Nothing to worry about here. The Republicans are in charge. It's just going to be so great. All you have to do is fall in line with the Republican Party and everything will be just wonderful. We'd like to
don't be a panikin, Rob.
Panikin. I just want to challenge that. That's okay. All right. Clip number 17. I thought this was absolutely fantastic. Check this out. This is Brandon Straka putting on a debate with millennials and boomers. Here's how the promo went. And then I think the real show comes out tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Check it out.
Hey, Boomer, here we go again. Okay, Boomer, you believe the official narrative of 9/11. It's like, okay, you believe the official moon landing. It's just like, oh my gosh, okay, Boomer. Oh, we're sick of this same policy.
Which policy are you talking about that you're sick of?
Tonight, we're going to tell the truth. There is a deep and significant fracture inside the right, and it's getting worse.
We tried it your way, and all it's done is cause the problem.
Ranting online is not going to solve the problem.
It's generational.
Judeo-Christian values, lessons of World War II.
Judeo-Christian values, just please toss that out of the ring. And as far as World War II is concerned, are we ever going to move on?
All of these issues that you're bitching about have been fought time and time and time again.
That type of response is what's driving people to the left.
Well, they came in illegally, but they're good people and they're working now on farms.
Trump betrayed his base, he betrayed his voters, and he did not follow through, and he was not conservative at all. And we thought Trump was going to be different.
So did we. And Trump was supposed to be the leader of America first.
You think Jeffrey Epstein killed himself?
Of course not.
Boomers for the win.
You are about to inherit a very messy world. And if you're not with us, it's not going to be recoverable.
Our foreign policy is controlled by a foreign country that blackmails and buys our politicians in order to do it.
Israel does not control our foreign policy.
Trump just said it.
He did not say that was the reason.
Do you think we're anti-Semites?
I'm getting a little bit of a feel.
The reason why we're frustrated with this war in Iran is because they lied about weapons of mass destruction after 2001.
It's not true. That is absolutely
Okay, see, this is where we're going to have a huge disconnect. So you think that's fake, Frank?
I think it's bullshit.
You guys are stuck on this whole hate Muslims train that you can't even see what's happening right in front of your damn faces.
That is totally effing insane.
$5 trillion plus have been spilled in the Middle East because of it, and tens of thousands of American lives have died in the Middle East because of it, and our generation is saying we are done.
They've screwed up the Middle East, and now they're screwing up Europe.
Well, have you ever considered you might be falling for fake news?
Rubbish.
Wednesday. I'll be on that. I'll be watching that, Isaiah. See, I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that. And
So
I side with the millennials. I think that I think that people like me that were addicted to Fox News, addicted to the narrative, wanted to hate the other side, really enjoyed the battle back and forth between liberals, Democrats, socialists, communists, whatever you want to call it. That really entertained me for a long time until I realized that the team that I was rooting for really are in bed with the same people that I'm fighting against. I see no separation between the two anymore. That is not to say that Republican voters aren't different than Democrat voters. That I'll agree with. But the scab that continues to be scratched off is coming from the politics and the media. Speaking of the media, let's roll over to this, and then let me do media. I'm rolling, and then we'll do the advertisers. Where is it? This is so fantastic. It's about who controls the media. Have you seen this? Did you look through that this morning?
Potentially.
This is illegal to do now. This is the colleges can't talk about this. States don't allow you to talk about things of this nature. So I'm going to talk about it so long as it's still free in Missouri. I'm not sure it is, but I'm going to roll with it. Actually, you know what? Squirrel. I got to stay on debates. Let me stay on debates because I got one more good debate and then we'll get to it. I'll find it while we're talking about debates. So that was Brandon Straka. That show is on social media on Wednesday between the millennials and the boomers. All the conversation about things that they believe versus what the millennials believe. I think the millennials are on target. I can't believe that I'm saying that. I'm so into experience and wisdom and age. I believe that 99% of the time until I started to recognize that people could get brainwashed.
Yeah.
So that experience and wisdom comes from information that they can't verify. It's just information that's been fed to them, right? The orchestration of narrative, the orchestration of perception, that kind of thing. And it just blows me away. Now, this one is between Mike Pompeo. Remember Mike Pompeo? He ran the State Department. He ran the CIA. He was a senator from Kansas. Finished at top of his class at West Point. I was a big fan of his at one time, and now I'm starting to understand what Mike Pompeo is all about. And he's in a debate with Victoria Nuland. Do you know who Victoria Nuland is, Isaiah, by chance?
Sounds very familiar. N-E-U?
N-U-L-A-N-D.
N-U-L, no, yeah.
So Victoria Nuland was the one that was working for the State Department back in 2014 when the whole Ukraine situation really began to develop. So the United States and their proxies used the media along with George Soros to overthrow the government in Ukraine. Victoria Nuland is caught speaking to a guy named Jeffrey Pyatt, who was the ambassador to Ukraine at the time, and they are in a conversation for about 6 or 7 minutes that was released worldwide, except for America. I mean, America, nobody knows what's going on, but it was released worldwide, where they are debating who is going to be the next leader of Ukraine. They're choosing who's going to be the next leader of Ukraine. Victoria Nuland and the ambassador to Ukraine, Jeffrey Pyatt. Now, that's all the way back in 2014. Now you fast forward it all the way to the war and all the money laundering that's going on, and you start to recognize what the real situation is here. We break it, and then the solution is we handle both sides of the war, keep the military-industrial complex rolling, keep South Carolina rolling, and guys like Lindsey Graham, right? And all the money comes right. As Mitch McConnell said, it's a win-win, baby. This is what Mitch McConnell said. He said, hey, why do people get upset about this war we got going on between Ukraine and Russia? It's a win-win. Here's what works. We give Ukraine a bunch of money. They take that money and they come back into the United States and they buy military equipment. We use the military equipment to kill Russians. He goes, we make money. The Congress makes money. The military industrial complex makes money. The weapons makers make money. And we get to kill Russians. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
That was tricky, Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell's, that's where I get all of my intelligence advice from. He seems very astute and very
charlatan.
He looks totally there, right?
Well, he's not there, but even when he was there, he was a charlatan. And it's funny that our country continues to say that China is the big enemy.
Yeah.
He's married to Elaine Chao, whose father is one of the most powerful people in China working for the CCP. So Elaine Chao, working in the Bush and Trump administrations, has a father that is a shipping magnate with the Chinese government, married to the former leader of the Senate, Mitch McConnell. I mean, you just can't make it up. And they're our enemy. Well, they might be our enemy.
Them in the data center race.
They might be our enemy. I don't know if they're our enemy or not, but they're definitely not our government's enemy. Our government they are spooning with China on a daily basis, and I mean getting after one another, if the truth be known, and then we paint them as the enemy, and clearly we're in bed with them.
Shipping their students to our universities, no problem.
500 to 600,000.
Yeah, no problem. But they are our enemy, Rob.
Our enemy owns our land around our military bases. Donald Trump said he was going to stop that. Then he said he's not going to stop that because the property values would go down if we took China out of the equation. And then he says they're the enemy. We got to take on China. At the same time, we're bringing 500 to 600,000 students in to fill our universities. It makes perfect sense. All you have to do is ask those people with the magic 8 balls, what does Trump mean? And they rub the 8 ball and they tell us what he means. It's the only way it would work, right? If you do the opposite of what you tell me you're going to do on the campaign trail, and then I cheer for you because it's so brilliant, you have to wonder where people are coming from. I don't understand. Maybe it is, but I don't understand it. That's all I'm saying is Robb Carter. I'm a relatively bright guy. Isaiah, are you aware of this?
Yes.
In IQ tests, I had to take one of these in high school, or no, in college, my first year college psychology course, right? I'm in the top 10 of intelligence. Not bad. Right? It means that 9 out of 10 people in the world I'm smarter than.
You don't get it, Rob. All right.
I don't get the 5D chess?
Yeah, you don't get it. Come on.
I'm not a genius. I don't mean to say that, but I'm smart enough to be able to represent a common theme of thought, right? And with of normal intelligence. I think I'm normal intelligence, Isaiah. Yes. You and I talked about it. Neither one of us think we're geniuses. We think that we're, we can think, but we're not geniuses.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
I'm right below the 140.
It makes no sense.
I know.
130 is Mensa.
Oh, 130. Okay, then I'm like 134. I usually test like 134.
Then you are a genius.
Yeah, that's what people tell me. I don't feel like I am, but people tell me I'm smart.
That would put you in the genius category. All right. Very impressive, by the way. Let's do, what is it? Number 24. This is another debate that they just put on recently. I think it's fantastic when they cut and play these debates. This is what makes our country great. If we can get back to this, we'll have a much, much better society. Clip number 24. Victoria Nuland, Mike Pompeo against the anti-Iran war people. Listen to this argument. I love it.
What human decency demands. You don't let a radical regime close off the global economy by firing Shahed missiles into nations that did nothing. Right, they're firing into civilians in the United Arab Emirates even just this week. That's just not something that the world can accept. And so this monster is worthy of the hunt.
You do know, Mike, that we started the war.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Oh, no.
They weren't firing those missiles until Israel and the United States attacked Iran. You do understand that, right?
Welcome to 1979, when the revolutionary regime began to kill Europeans.
You do know that we overthrew the democratically elected government in 1954.
Just for the record, you were talking about this.
You don't think Iran has? You think Iran's forgotten about that?
No, I suspect they've not.
You don't think Iran remembers that we supported Saddam Hussein in the Iran-Iraq war?
I know
forgotten about this?
I know this.
Other countries have history.
Do you think Iran is a monster?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think they're. I'm glad I don't live there. I think many countries do many bad things, including my own, and I wouldn't call the United States a monster.
But Stephen,
do also remember that we wouldn't have had October 7th if we hadn't had Iranian support for Hamas.
I agree. We wouldn't have had October 7th if we'd gotten peace in the Middle East, and that's a much longer story.
It is, and every single U.S. president has tried and will continue to.
Not very hard.
But it is very important to emphasize there's no evidence that Iran even knew about October 7th, much less
caused it. Oh my goodness. I'm sure it is lovely
See how
to
the
live
trick
where
you
you
use there?
live and believe
There's
that.
no evidence in the public record of that.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. See, they ridicule and they make fun of, but they never answer the question. This is a tactic that people use, right? They try to ridicule the person making the statement without any contradictory evidence at all. But that's how they play the game. That's what I was talking about earlier with some of these tactics that they're using with me on social media, is these people that want to contradict everything I say are just hitting these drive-bys. Like if I say today is Thursday, they'll respond underneath, did Rob tell you he lived in Florida? I said, well, I was talking about Thursday. What does living in Florida have to do with anything? And then I say, by the way, and then I'll respond to it, and they say nothing. I was watching a George Orwell movie that everybody should watch. It was so fantastic. I think it was on, I want to say it was on Netflix. I saw George Orwell. Absolutely fantastic, Isaiah. So this is what George Orwell said in his 1984 in his writings, what he was talking about. He said, there will be a ministry of truth which determines everything that is true. So whether it's true or not doesn't really matter. The government and their ministry of truth will tell you what is true and what is not true. Ignorance is strength. This is what I keep saying about people that just the apathy. Rob, just live your life. I mean, come on. I said I do have a good time. That doesn't mean I have to be an imbecile, does it? Does having a good time in life and enjoying your life, and enjoying your friends, and enjoying your weekends, and enjoying your family, and enjoying everything that is wonderful about life, does that mean I have to be an imbecile, Isaiah? Does that mean I just have to be? I have to stop thinking. I have to stop paying attention. I have to be just a complete moron in order to enjoy my life? I don't think that's the way it would work. But ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is strength. This is from the book 1984. Freedom is slavery, and war is peace. So what they were explaining right there is war is peace. The more we bomb other nations, the more peaceful we say that we are. We are the peaceful nation who goes out and bombs everybody. This is the way they explained it in Nazi Germany. This is the way the United States has been explaining it ever since Operation Paperclip, if you understand. Operation Paperclip led us to the situation where we could propagandize our people into continual war by creating the scenario for war, the Gulf of Tonkin, right? They were going to do it with the USS Liberty attack. What they're talking about on October 7th. How many times have I played the clip where we are paying for these terror organizations right out of our own pockets right here in the United States? Why would we pay for terror organizations that then attack our supposed ally Israel, and then Israel is drawn into a war, which draws us into the war, and here we go again with war in the Middle East? Why is it hard to understand, Isaiah? doesn't seem like it's hard to understand. It just seems like people either don't believe it or don't want to believe it.
Well, it's just,
which is better?
It's this one. It's right here. This is it.
Head in the sand.
We won.
How about Trump? How about Trump? Seriously. So he put out, I saw Jake Jackson. I wanted to correct Jake, and I'm like, nah, I'm gonna let that roll. He goes, good news, Donald Trump's going to, the war is coming to an end. And I'm thinking, Jake. I love Jake. Donald Trump is a bullshit artist, period. There's no, every time he tells you the war's coming to an end, if he says he's getting ready to sign it in 15 minutes, you shouldn't believe it. You shouldn't believe anything that Donald Trump says. He's been doing this now since the very beginning. The reason he does that is because the stock market reacts to it, number one. And number two, you can say you're not in a war. I'm not in a war. Therefore, I don't need approval from Congress to be in a war. So he just does this back and forth, back and forth. The guy from China, that Professor Predictive History, he went on with Alex Jones over the weekend, and he said, no. He said, this is the never-ending war. This is a never-ending war. This will be a never-ending war. This will be the war where it just seems it becomes normal for you, right? There's nothing big happening. They don't tell you any kind of bombing that's going on in Iran. They suppress the information on your social media sources. So it feels like it's not happening other than people talking about it. You really don't know that people are dying. You don't know that the infrastructure is being destroyed. You don't have any idea what's going on because they're not going to show you those pictures anymore. Remember Isaiah back in Vietnam? You don't remember this, but that Gulf War, we got pictures of the bombings on a daily basis. You had reporters on the ground that were talking about the war. This is going to be fought through the skies. They're just going to drop bombs on people. They're going to use advanced weaponry in Iran, and they're going to pretend the war is not really even happening. And they'll let Donald Trump tell you when it's over, when it's how would he know who he's talking to? I mean, how long have we been in this war? 6 weeks? How in the world would you know who's in charge of the country after 6 weeks? You got 90 million people in Iran. How would you know how would you know that whoever you're negotiating with is got charge of the country? How would you know that? Isaiah, do you have any idea of this? If they killed 50-something people in the leadership, and they've had 2 leaderships since then that we've destroyed, how do they know who they're talking about, whether they're negotiating?
You're talking to representatives. You don't know who the.
Do you have any idea who you're negotiating?
You don't know who are the people that are sending these representatives, though, right?
Exactly. If you wipe out all of America and I, Robb Carter, go, hey, negotiate with me. I'm the one running America now. Does the Trump administration? Oh yeah, okay. Rob's in charge now, or it's Isaiah. Isaiah. No. It's so and so. It's ridiculous. The whole thing is silly.
Yeah, honestly. You saw this, right?
What makes you think
the internet blackout? You saw this, right? In Iran,
blackout enters 13th week, surpassing 2,000 hours. Who's that from?
Yeah. This is on the Times of Israel right now. This is just the first article, but this is something that people don't really know. That's not like big mainstream media news. But Iran has no internet access, so we're not getting really anything from Iran.
Do we know this to be true? Can you look up?
Yeah. This
inside Iran after the war and see if anything pops up. See if anybody's sending out videos.
Oh, there are videos. I don't know how they're getting some of them out, but there was. That's why I thought some of the videos that were coming out were potentially Mossad, because there would be a guy in a full mask, right? And he'd be in a military uniform just by himself in the dark, and he'd be saying, the Americans are beating us. We're people are surrendering. We're giving up. We're running away from our posts. Thank you, America. Those were the videos that I was seeing that were being put out online. And then the only other videos I saw were some bombings in Tehran and things like that were being somehow uploaded to Telegram. And
people eat that stuff up, don't they?
What'd you say?
I think people eat that stuff up.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's why I'm watching those videos that are supposedly Iranian soldiers, part of the IRGC or something like that, is what they claim. But there's an internet blackout, and somehow they're able to make these videos and put them out. It's really interesting. So, someone said, I thought Elon sent Starlink for Iranians. Yes, but I don't know how they're accessed. I've heard something about that as well, that I can't verify. But
I trust absolutely nothing coming out of this government.
No, 100%. It's interesting to see the this is what we're hearing, but we're seeing stuff. Are we really seeing the right stuff? And then there's so much AI videos that were being created during the beginning of the war. A lot of AI videos of attacks. And so it's a lot of disinformation during this war. That's my main point is there's all this disinformation coming out.
Everything.
Controlled information.
Yeah, they'd be making a mistake. Don't forget to like and share. Now we got a little audience starting to build. Like and share. Help us spread the word. We'll just beg of you to like and share. This is how we get everything done. Everything works through the expansion of the message, which is a grassroots effort until we can find the money to start advertising it, which I think we're getting close to, Isaiah. We had a nice chunk for the first month. Absolutely wonderful response from our advertisers, the audience, people with People's Lobby Missouri. We were starting to take in some money. So just a great thing. So let's get to some advertisement here very quickly.
Let's do it. Just want to answer the Starlink question. I just looked it up. So the Iranian government banned Starlink. There are some smuggled in terminals that people are using, but they were smuggled in. It's nothing that's available to people just widely, it looks like.
ECS.
Yep. PLMO.
ECS first today. We're going to do ECS. I heard the weather was bad. I'm going to give him a quick plug.
We got to start with PLMO. There.
Oh, you got it set up the way you got it set up. All right. PLMO, peopleslobbymo.com. There it is, peopleslobbymo.com. If you are somebody who is interested in joining us to pressure government, to monitor government, and ultimately to change government away from the tyranny that we feel now back into a government of by and for the people. The government is not listening to you at the moment. Anybody in the grassroots movements. That's why I was going to tell you about what happened in Florida, Isaiah. Is exactly the same thing goes on down there. They basically just alienate anybody who tries to get done the Republican agenda. Then they make those people look like they're crazy and they're angry. They do. It's exactly the same premise. I just met with a bunch of grassroots people in Florida, and they said the exact same thing that happens in Florida is exactly what I say happens in Missouri. It is incredible. So if you want to make the changes, this is a nationwide situation. These were insiders that have been around for 40-something years in Florida politics telling me this. So that was it. It was unsolicited. Right. So it was just, this is what they were telling me. And I said, wow, it's exactly what we have going on in Missouri. Exactly the same. Just a complete dismissal of anything other than establishment politics. Everybody who challenges them ultimately gets shunned or made out to be crazy. This type of situation. Exactly what's going on in Missouri is what's going on in Florida. What's going on in Florida is going on in Missouri and around the country. peopleslobbymo.com. We'd love a donation, but the best you can do is sign up and help. That'd be great. Or just get the information from us. Once we start rolling here, you'll get all of the information. That's got to happen within this week. I was talking to our website developer last week. We should have this up and running with new information, new writers, just all kinds of new content on peopleslobbymo.com and our website for the show. Both should be up within the next 2 weeks and running smoothly because we're paying for it now, Isaiah. We have enough money to pay for that thanks to our advertisers. peopleslobbymo.com. There it is. Check it out. peopleslobbymo.com. Sign up, donate, sign up, please. Sign up. We're asking for multiple donations, small donations, $5 a month. We'd like to get 10,000 people at $5 a month over the course of the next, year, 2 years, however long it takes. And then we should be off and running to run these campaigns to get our governments back in line with voters. How's that?
That's right.
There we go.
Got to start somewhere.
I think we were off and running now.
Oh, yeah.
All right. ECS Roofing and Exteriors, my man, Larry Evans. ECS Roofing, there it is on your screen. ECS Roofing and Exteriors. Been in business for over 30 years. If you need a new roof, if the weather got a little funky with you, beat up your roof just a little bit, maybe you had some hail damage, wind damage, you name it. Roofing, siding, decks, gutters, garage doors, custom exterior metal, residential, commercial, new construction, storm damage, free licensed inspections, and the key to him, my man Larry Evans at ECS Roofing and Exteriors. He is a licensed independent adjuster. If you get the door knockers on your door that say, hey, we're going to fix your roof for you, they have no idea. They're just trying to draw you into their system. ECS Roofing, you call them out. They'll give you an estimate. They'll tell you whether your roof is going to be covered by insurance or not. He knows whether it's going to be covered by insurance. He doesn't have to guess. That's what he does for a living. He does both. ECS Roofing and Exteriors, been in business for over 30 years. People that you can trust at a great price. Great people. ECS Roofing and Exteriors, my man, Larry Evans. As he said to me, he sent me a text. He goes, Rob, just another thought. One other area in my business other than storms is retail and new construction. I love the retail and new construction side of the business. We run on low overhead so we can pass the savings to our clients. Our prices can't be beat. Even with that, we offer a Class 3 shingle, ridge vent, and complete installation guarantee, 5-year workmanship warranty on top of the manufacturer's warranty. ECS Roofing and Exteriors, 314-486-3567. One more time with the number, 314-486-3567. 486-3567, or you can check out their work on ECS Roofing and Exteriors on Facebook.
That's right. Advanced Wellness.
AdvancedWellnessMed.com. AdvancedWellnessMed.com. There is Helen Gelhart. You can see she's a faithful woman just by looking at that picture. As she says, we assist the divine healer. We assist the divine healer. Feel, think, look better, live longer. The earliest cancer detection blood test in the business. The reason I like Helen so much, the reason I wanted her to be a part of our operation, is she is outside of the hospital administrators. She can do what she needs to do for you. She treats you better. She's not constricted. She can do whatever she needs to do to make sure she takes care of your needs. The earliest cancer detection blood test in the business, cancer control. She also works on Alzheimer and dementia symptom reversal. So if you know anybody who has Alzheimer's or dementia, somebody might be in the family, it's getting a little bit crazy for you, they can reverse those symptoms, and think of how great that would be for your loved one and just for family camaraderie. You know, when somebody gets dementia or Alzheimer's, it does have an effect on the family. AdvancedWellnessMed.com. Again, pre-screenings for heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and again, Alzheimer's and dementia patients. Symptom reversal. AdvancedWellnessMed.com. Dr. Helen Gelhart. 314-576-0094. 314-576-0094. Here's Helen. Who's next? You want to do Carrington?
That's right. Rick Babbitts.
My man, Rick Babbitts. I owe him a call. Shoot, I forgot to call him yesterday. Rick Babbitts. 314-671-0525. Your financial planning expert. Biblical principles with your money. He says, Rob, I do it different than everybody. So anybody that does financial planning, if they come to me and get a second, third, fourth, or fifth opinion, I do it different than everybody else. As he likes to say to me, the reality is that investors are dying to have a new experience. The dominance of big brokerage firms and wirehouses has given even above average investors the impression that there is no alternative, that their choices are limited, and that switching to another investor or firm would not make much difference in the outcome. Carrington Financial offers investors the alternative approach they have been seeking. My man, Rick Babbitts, done great for me and my family. That's all I can tell you. Biblical principles with your money. Rick Babbitts, 314-671-0525, 314-671-0525, or you can check out the website at yourcaringadvisor.com. I think he's on at 11 o'clock tomorrow as well. Rick Babbitts. Might ask him some financial questions tomorrow. Maybe we'll move in that direction with him.
Yeah, I want to ask him about the MMTLP situation.
Let's see what he thinks of that. And then finally, GraceHauling.com. 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 Been in business since 1998. Outstanding customer service, competitive pricing. If you are a commercial customer, 2, 4, 6, and 8-yard dumpsters. You're going to see dumpsters and trash cans all over the St. Charles County area. As he likes to say, but for the grace of God, I would not have such a thriving business. GraceHauling.com. 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 If you're a residential customer, trash, recyclables, yard waste, and bulk pickup. GraceHauling.com. GraceHauling.com. One more time for the people in back. GraceHauling.com.
All right. Your rubbish needs.
For all of your rubbish and trash needs. All right.
I wanted to ask you before we transitioned off the debate topic. I meant to ask you this earlier. Did you see the Jay Collins controversy from this past weekend?
No.
So there was a
17 for governor in Florida.
Yeah, he's the current lieutenant governor.
Yeah.
And so a 17-year-old kid got up and asked him about essentially Israel.
Told him to sit up and shut down.
Yep.
Shut up and sit down.
Yeah, you saw that? Yeah. And then
that's how these people think.
Yeah. And then someone confronted him about it at another gathering.
Yep.
And he got in that guy's face.
Yep.
And I watched this and I said, man, if you just watch those two clips, you're disqualified, Jay Collins, immediately. You know, no one's going to look at that video and say, man, this guy seems like he's got his temper under control. He seems emotionally stable. You know what I mean? So can't take a question. And then once you start pushing back, he turns around and his security guards start pushing the guy away and Jay Collins runs off.
Yeah, it's funny what's going on in the government right now is the people that don't debate and the worst of us, the worst people make it to a position of power in our government.
Yeah.
The worst people. The people that want nothing more than power and control, they keep making their way to the top. It's just a bummer.
But he's a military vet.
But he is a military vet. Can we go into some Trump appointments? Can I get into Trump for just a little bit?
It. Kevin Warsh. Hopefully.
Yeah, you want to let's start with these appointments. Let's do Kevin Warsh, I guess, is first. Let's do Kevin Warsh. Can we just pull him up on Wikipedia real fast?
Let's do it. Yes, please.
Do people even know who Kevin Warsh is? Probably
no.
not.
That's what I found when I was doing my own show on Friday nights. I immediately, as soon as I found out about Kevin Warsh, I started telling all my small audience that I had at the time.
Fed chair, by the way, he's the new Jerome Powell.
Just everyone, if you don't know, I mean, Rob's probably already going to get into this, so I'm not trying to steal your thunder, Rob, but his father-in-law runs I believe it's Estee Lauder, who is he's the heir to the Estee Lauder fortune.
Yep.
And then he's the chairman, I believe, of the
World Jewish Congress.
The World Jewish Congress.
I like
that's what our new Fed chair is.
So our new Fed chair is, look it up. It's Kevin Warsh.
And
then his father is Ronald Lauder. Right? Maybe start with Ronald Lauder. Look him up.
Yeah.
Lauder. Women don't know who Estee Lauder is.
Yep. Yeah.
It's amazing what's going on. I mean, it's basically we've moved into just a Zionist puppet.
Yes.
Organization here in America. Everything is moving in that direction. Everything. And that's why I keep saying it's hard for me to believe that Donald Trump isn't doing on purpose, because it's so blatant and in your face. It gets to be embarrassing. There he is. Where'd he go to school? He probably went to Harvard. Let's see where he went to school.
He is the sole heir. Wow. Scroll down here and see.
Where'd he go to school?
Oh.
Penn.
University of Pennsylvania. Yeah, Penn.
That's where Trump went.
University of Paris. Wow. In Brussels. Interesting.
Oh, Brussels. Okay. So he's a
very liberal.
Well, Brussels is the world. That's the EU is out of Brussels. Yeah. So there you go. But it should say that he's the World Jewish Congress right there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure here. Let's see. Let's go through. This is, wow. In 1998, Lauder was asked by the Israeli prime minister to begin track 2 negotiations with Syrian leader. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Donald Trump is surrounding himself with this entire group of people. It's bizarre.
Wow, look at this. Lauder suggested to Donald Trump that the United States purchase Greenland.
Yeah.
I did not know this. Here we go. Lauder has been involved with organizations such as the Conference of Presidents of major American Jewish organizations, the Jewish National Fund, the World Jewish Congress, the American Jewish Joint Distribution Community, the ADL. Oh, man. The Jewish Theological Seminary, Rabbinical College of America, Brandeis University, and the Abraham Fund.
So that is the father of Kevin Warsh, right? Is that the father? Or is he
father-in-law, I believe.
Father-in-law of Kevin Warsh. Now check out Kevin Warsh. Let's look him up. So it's Kevin W. Remember, Missourians used to say Warsh instead of wash.
I know.
Gotta wash my clothes.
Gotta wash.
I guarantee he went to one of the club schools. He has to. You can't get in.
That's why we liked Bush. He couldn't say things either.
Where'd he go to school? Where'd Kevin Warsh go to school?
Oh, I'm sure he's going to be in a club school. I has to. Yep, there we go. Both.
Harvard,
Stanford, and Harvard.
Harvard, yeah.
Stanford for his undergrad, Harvard for his graduate school.
So the next
for his doctorate, I guess.
Chair of the Federal Reserve Chairman, Kevin Warsh, his father-in-law is the sole heir to the Estee Lauder Foundation and the president of the World Jewish Congress, attached to Bibi Netanyahu and all the
and Ehud Barak.
Jewish organizations tight with Bibi Netanyahu. That's not who's running our money. That's the Fed chair guy. And then Elise Stefanik is the heir apparent to, if you didn't hear already, Tulsi Gabbard resigned because her husband is ill. So she's the Department of National ODNI. And now she's leaving, and it appears that Elise Stefanik is going to take that position. And, Elise Stefanik, we know her. She's all into the Israeli First People Zionist movement as well. Let's start with Elise Stefanik. Clip number 16. Let's start with her.
No way.
What?
Warsh is Jewish.
Well, of course.
I didn't know if he was or not. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
I was more focusing on his father because of the infinite amount of wealth that he has.
Yeah. It's all in the family, baby. That's how we like to roll. Clip number 16 is Elise Stefanik. Let's get 2 of her out of the way if you don't know who Elise Stefanik is, just so you understand what's going on in the world. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump, everybody says he is going to solve the problems of America, and they're heavily behind him. but not paying attention at all, I guess, to who he's surrounding himself with, because it seems to be crazy. You got Susie Wiles, who was the campaign manager for Benjamin Netanyahu. Now she is the what's her role? What is Susie Wiles? She is the why can't I think of what she is? Chief of staff for Trump, right? It's just amazing what is happening in the country.
Sorry, I'm pulling this video. I'm kind of half listening.
I hear you. All right, let's do Elise Stefanik first. Clip number 16.
Let's do it.
Here she is.
Thank you so much. It is truly an honor to be here. Let me begin by thanking my friend, Dr. Adelson, not only for her beautiful introduction, but for her extraordinary example to all of us fighting for America, the Jewish people, and for Israel. You are, in every sense, a true Maccabee warrior. Her life's work, from healing patients as a doctor to supporting life-saving medical research, to her unwavering philanthropy and fearless advocacy, it has changed lives and strengthened the Jewish people across the globe. She has never wavered in the defense of Israel, nor in her belief in the moral clarity of America's friendship with the Jewish homeland. She continues to inspire us all because of this selfless work on behalf of America and of Israel. I'm honored for her encouragement and her support and her kind words as I launch my campaign for governor of New York State to save New York.
There she is, Elise Stefanik. And she dropped out of that, and I guess she knew that this was coming, right? Why would you drop out?
And thank you so much to my good friend,
Right.
Dr. Ben. It's so
That's
fitting
good.
that I'm receiving this award from you. My strong relationship with you and NORPAC goes back over
Good
a
idea.
decade to my first campaign for Congress when
Now do 14, Elise Stefanik. Just so people know who Donald Trump's surrounding himself with. I know nobody cares. And maybe they're all excited about it. You know, I guess maybe that generation thinks the closer we can get to Israel, the better off we're going to be. But here she is again. This is Elise Stefanik, clip number 14.
Let's pull it up here. Yeah, these clips you sent, they weren't clips, they were retweets, and so you can't download retweets. So I have to pull up each post for these ones, which is different than all the other clips, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah, because they're retweet videos, they're not actual posts, if that makes sense.
That's it, though. I see it. Elise.
Measure to aid Israel that has
Yes.
been before the United States Congress. Every single one. 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 And supplying the state of Israel with what it needs, when it needs it, without condition. That's why I'm proud to have sponsored or backed.
Amazing, isn't it?
Measure to Aid Israel.
Yeah. Wow.
It's amazing.
Every single one.
Every
single one.
So the two people left, the Fed chairman left, Jerome Powell. He's being replaced by Kevin Warsh. Kevin Warsh is the son of Ronald Lauder, the heir to the Estee Lauder fortune, and also the president of the World Jewish Congress. He's involved with the ADL. He's involved with the Bush administration. He's just another advocate for money going to Israel, intelligence agencies being aligned with one another. And then you have Elise Stefanik, who is the odds-on favorite to take over for Tulsi Gabbard, who said the electronic voting machines were stealing our elections. She's out. She's the one that said Iran was not trying to build a nuclear weapon. She's out. She's gone. Bye-bye, Tulsi Gabbard. And who comes in to replace Tulsi Gabbard? Elise Stefanik, who says all of the legislation that comes before her to add money to the coffers of the Israeli government, she votes for it every single time, as she likes to say. Elise Stefanik. Incredible. Now we got to go to who owns the media. That's the one I want to get to. Clip number 8. This blew my mind the other day. We got to scroll through this. Isaiah, did you get a chance to look at this?
Let me see.
This blew my mind.
Oh yeah.
And look how many views it has. How many views does it have now? It was like 3.1 million last I looked.
Let's see. And it has 10.8 million.
Wow, 10.8 million views. See, this is the good part about social media is you can get information out on a big scale. Let's check out just roll that out and let's just check out who owns the media. Because when you say this, people that don't know anything, they call you conspiracy theorist. So it's Dan Bilzerian, who I guess goes on social media, is very anti-Israel. But he says Meta owns Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, Threads, Oculus, Meta Quest VR, Meta AI. Meta is controlled by Mark Zuckerberg, who is Jewish. Alphabet, that's the version over in China. Or is that China, Alphabet?
No, it's the parent company of Google.
Of Google, right? Okay. Yeah. Alphabet owns Google, YouTube, Android, Gmail, Chrome, Pixel phones, Nest smart home devices, Fitbit, DeepMind, Gemini AI assistant model, Waymo, Verify, Calico, Wing. Alphabet is controlled by Larry Page and Sergey Brin, who are both Jewish. TikTok, U.S. algorithm cybersecurity and infrastructure is owned by Oracle. Oracle is controlled by Larry Ellison, who is Jewish. Hookup apps, Match Groups owns Tinder, Hinge, OkCupid, Match.com, Plenty of Fish, Medic, The League, BLK, Archer, Our Time. Was founded by Barry Diller. All those organizations, Barry Diller, who's Jewish. Grindr. What is Grindr, Isaiah?
That's a gay hookup app.
Grindr is I know about that. Okay, was founded by Joel Simchai, who is Jewish. Bumble was founded by Whitney Wolf, who is Jewish. Porn, OnlyFans, owned by Leonard Redvinsky, who is Jewish. Vixen Media Groups owns Blacked Raw, Vixen, Tushy, Deeper. These are all porn sites, I assume. Founded by Greg Lansky, who is Jewish. ILO, MindGeek, owns Pornhub, YouPorn, RedTube, Bazaars, Reality Kings, Digital Playground, Men.com, Sean Cody, and Tube8. Salman Friedman is the owner of ILO, and he is also Jewish. Gamma Entertainment owns and operates Adult Time, Pure Taboo, Wicked, Girls Way, many affiliate studios and platforms founded by Carrie Bernard, who is Jewish. Movies, TV, and news. Warner Brothers Discoveries owns Warner Brothers Pictures, HBO, CNN, DC Studios, Cartoon Network, Discovery Channel, TNT, TBS, Max, formerly HBO Max, Adult Swim, HGTV, Food Network, Animal Planet. Warner Brothers is run by David Zaslav, who is Jewish. Disney owns ESPN, ABC, Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, Pixar, 20th Century Studios, Disney, Hulu, National Geographic. Disney is run by Bob Iger, who is Jewish. Paramount Global owns Broadcast News, CBS, CBS News, CBS Sports, local CBS stations, film studios, Paramount Pictures, Paramount Animation, Paramount Players, cable networks, MTV, Nickelodeon, Comedy Central, BET, VH1, CMT, TV Land, Smithsonian Channel, Logo TV, Pop TV, Streaming and Premium, Paramount Plus, Showtime, Pluto TV, major franchises IP, Top Gun, Mission Impossible, Star Trek, South Park, SpongeBob SquarePants, Transformers, Teenage Mutant Turtles. Paramount Global is controlled by Sherry Redstone, who is Jewish. Comcast owns CBS, Universal, NBC, Universal Pictures, Peacock, MSNBC, CNBC, Telemundo, Sky, DreamWorks Animation, Xfinity. Comcast controlled by the Roberts family, who is Jewish. AI data centers, OpenGI, ChatGPT, run by Sam Altman, who is Jewish. Palantir provides advanced data integration, surveillance, AI, analytics, infrastructure used by military, intelligence, law enforcement, and major corporations. Its platforms help organizations combine massive amounts of fragmented data into real-time operational intelligence for warfare, policing, logistics, cybersecurity, manufacturing, and intelligence for warfare, policing, logistics, cybersecurity, manufacturing, and decision-making, making it one of the most strategically influential data and defense technology companies in the world, and it is owned by Peter Thiel and Alex Karp. Both are Jewish. Oracle owns Oracle Database, Java, MySQL, NetSuite, Cerner, Sun Microsystems Technologies. It's important because it owns core infrastructure and software that powers governments, banks, hospitals, corporations, and large parts of the internet. Its control of technologies like Oracle, Database, Java, MySQL, and Cerner gives it enormous influence over the back-end systems modern society depends on, owned by Larry Ellison, who is Jewish. Isaiah.
Boom.
Do you see a trend at all?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I already knew about all this.
How can that people not ready? They got to remember the Jewish population is 2% of the planet, yet they own everything of importance in media in America. And you wonder why the free speech laws are being passed, right? All to protect Israel and any kind of conversation about what's going on in the real world. Now, why would that be? That you can't have that conversation, that good or bad, this is not a indictment, but obviously there is some kind of formation to where the Jewish people aligned with Israel own all of our media. Everything that you read and digest, and it's consolidated more and more every day. How can that be a big secret for people? And why wouldn't that be discussed? Isaiah, we're a Christian nation. We're a Christian nation. Everything. What's your music there? I don't know what that music
That's
is.
that's the Hava Nagila. That's the Hava Nagila is the Israeli national anthem.
Is that not incredible when you read through that?
Oh yeah, that's
fascinating to me.
That's something that I looked into because a buddy of mine, he's like, no, I swear it just happened. Like these people bought these organizations, and he's like, it wasn't this way before. He goes, but because of all these acquisitions that happened, now they're all under these umbrellas. And so I said, okay, let me look into this. And this is exactly what I found, what Dan Bilzerian just kind of laid out here for everyone to see. I
think I might read that every day.
Because Kanye West was the first person to kind of put it out there as a, a celebrity, I guess you could say, someone who's in front of the media. He held up a spreadsheet, and he's like, everyone in red is Jewish, and these are all the media companies. And so, but everyone thought Kanye was crazy, right? He's, has his meltdowns, things like that. And so it was hard. It's hard when someone like that is the one who's presenting the information, because it's like, oh, it's easy to dismiss him. You know what I mean? But when you go and look for yourself, it is there. So
is it possible that we have been overrun by a certain group of people, and that this is no longer a free nation like we once thought? I mean, I'm really starting to wonder what is going on when I see things. Look at this next one. This is Shlomo Kramer on CNBC. And he's a Jewish billionaire who says that free speech in America must be tamped back. That we got to start monitoring free speach. Now,
we can't platform those people, Rob.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, this is what's going on. It's bizarre to me. I find it so interesting. Great time to be alive, Isaiah. You don't have to be a moron and to live in this life. You can actually know what's going on and still enjoy your life. You can actually be a willing participant in the betterment of society and still enjoy your life. You can still be somebody who knows what's going on in your surroundings and in your world and still enjoy your life. You don't have to be in Never Land to enjoy your life, Isaiah.
It's true.
I want to make sure. I'm very happy. Isaiah, despite the fact that I'm very disappointed with my government and big portions of our people. I'm just disappointed that they're not paying closer attention.
You're not allowed to question the narrative, Rob.
You look what happened with COVID, and if you don't pay attention after COVID, then for me, I'm like, man, what are you waiting on
this
now?
Ebola stuff all of a sudden popping up. They're talking about. They were trying to get us with hantavirus, and now the Ebola is.
Now it's Ebola. Yeah. It's incredible, really. All right. What were we gonna play?
Shlomo,
clip number 25. Check this out.
Difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it, and quickly before it's too late.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms. We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online, and take control over what they are saying based on that ranking.
The government.
The government should
control the social media.
Yeah.
Your government. Come on.
So he goes on to CNBC.
Yeah, they're basically socialists in Israel. Of course, they would want the government to take over.
Isn't it bizarre though? That's the only word that I can think of, is that you see this all going on around. You see all of these things. Let's just start from where we're at today, right? We're in a war with Iran that Donald Trump said was off just recently. Then apparently he got a call from Bibi Netanyahu. Now the war is back on.
They were offended that they got sidelined,
They were
Rob.
offended they got sidelined. So this is what's happening. And then there's all these accusations that Donald Trump has been either compromised or has always been in bed with Israel. Okay. Now we're bombing Lebanon with American weapons out of Israel to slaughter Christians. Nobody seems to care or even notice about that. Then you have 2 positions open up in the Trump administration. One is for the Fed chair, and that goes to Kevin Warsh, another Jewish guy whose father is Ronald Lauder, the heir apparent to Estee Lauder, the Estee Lauder fortune, who was the president of the World Jewish Congress. That's now who runs the Fed. And then you have an intelligence position open up because Tulsi Gabbard resigns, and that is filled by Elise Stefanik. And we played the video of her saying every time she can vote for more money for Israel, she votes yes. And then you got to see the AIPAC numbers rolling up beside her. She's almost to $1 million in AIPAC money. There's Donald Trump with Miriam Adelson. Donald Trump also gave the key to the country to Benjamin Netanyahu. I mean, how much more information would we need? I guess the real question, the divide now with the Trump supporters is, are you America first or are you Israel first? If you're Israel first because of biblical principles or you're just conditioned to believe it, then you love what Donald Trump is doing. If you question why Israel has so much influence over American decision-making and policy, then you're beginning to get skeptical and you're fragmenting away from Donald Trump and the MAGA movement. Is that fair enough, Isaiah? Do I have that pretty much right?
Oh, that's very fair. That's what people don't want to. You remember, like I always say, how people might know it, but they don't want to accept the information.
Yes.
That's what I think this is right now with a lot of the boomers, because.
And they get mad when you say that.
Oh yeah. Well, in the clip that we just watched of the teaser,
yeah,
I felt like in that clip, the boomers seem very uncomfortable with some of the things that these millennials are saying to them. And they seem like they're getting a little squirmish in their seats. And then you even saw that one guy who, when Owen Schroyer asked, I think it was Owen Schroyer who asked, do you think we're anti-Semites? Right. And the guy said, I'm getting my feel for it.
That's why we got Marcus Carey coming on tomorrow.
Yeah.
So Marcus Carey, he was the attorney for Cynthia West in the MMTLP situation. Remember, if you don't remember back to that show, Cynthia West had an affair with Thomas Massey, apparently, and then she went out on Laura Loomer,
not an affair. She was his girlfriend.
Another Israeli. Well, I mean, I don't know how long they were girlfriend. Maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
But then she goes on Laura Loomer, who's a propagandist. And I said, okay, she's here just to hurt Thomas Massey, which apparently happened because Ed Galreinstein won as the new congressman from Kentucky over Thomas Massey, which makes no sense because nobody even likes Ed Galreinstein. And yet he wins by almost 10 points over Thomas Massey, a very popular congressman from Kentucky. None of it makes any sense to me. None of it makes any sense at all to me. But what do I know, Isaiah? What do I know?
Yeah. Ed Galrein, he's the greatest. He's going to be great. What do you mean?
Can we go to some more of our Jewish leaders now?
Let's do it.
We might have to convert just to stay alive.
Right? Maybe that's what maybe that's what Trump did, Rob.
Trump needs to wear that the yarmulke on a daily basis.
This guy, come on.
That guy's a winner.
Look at him.
Galreinstein. Here he is. Can you imagine this guy?
You can tell by his hair that he knows what he's doing, right?
He's got no record of anything. He just pops up out of nowhere, and all of a sudden he's beating Thomas Massey. He refuses to debate the guy that should be the leader, Thomas Massey. Refuses to debate him. Gets called out by people that are going to see him campaign. Still won't debate Thomas Massey. He's backed by 3 Jewish billionaires who've never set one foot in Kentucky. I think they said he got like 39 donations from people inside of Kentucky, and then everything else was from outside of Kentucky. And yet he wins by 10 points, and they're blaming it on the Fox News crowd. What about a stolen election? That's not possible just because Massey said it wasn't stolen. I don't trust him. The fact that Massey said that makes me wonder I can trust even Massey or if he's just more controlled opposition, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Oh, that's what we were talking about the other day.
We're going to find Thomas Massey in Washington, D.C. when we go down there. And I'm going to say, how in the world can you say for certain that your election wasn't stolen? How do you know that? Explain to me how you know that. I'd love to know how he thinks he can be positive that the election wasn't stolen from him, which makes me always wonder if these people are just set up for failure.
This is Thomas Massey and Ed Galrein at the debate.
Yeah. It's crazy.
The missing man.
Let's do Larry Fink because AI. AI is the big new divide, right? That's dividing the Republican Party as well. Listen to Larry Fink and what he says. Now, this is a little bit of a clip where he explains the need for AI. And at the very end of it, he says he's going to take people's pensions and 401ks to pay for it. How you like that? Right out in the open.
Yeah.
Larry Fink, another Jewish man from BlackRock, who controls more money than the United States government does. most of the world with
Mhm.
BlackRock. Here's what he had to say about AI. You definitely want to give this guy AI data center control, right? You definitely want to throw all of your
BlackRock
surveillance.
should definitely have
Absolutely.
the most
Let him
control.
surveil me every morning and every night and every day forever. It'd be so, and then store the information, which is even better. Here's
Please.
Larry Fink, clip number 20. Check it out.
If we could get more and more Americans to think about growing with the United States, we will have far than enough money to invest in this infrastructure. But as the governor was talking about, the need for electrons is growing every day.
I didn't know that.
Some of these, if we're going to be the leader in technology, which we are, if we are going to be the leader in AI, which we presently are, it's just going to require trillions of dollars of investments. And if we don't invest in it, China will be the global leader in this. And so to me, it's not whether.
China.
This is a must. And if you think about how that translates, it translates into a more dynamic economy. We need the United States economy to grow at over 2%. We need the U.S. economy to grow at 3%, especially with the growing deficits the federal government has. And so much of this money, not just the projects, is going to be coming from the private sector, from savings accounts, from pension accounts, from insurance companies, and on and on and on. The whole world is in need of improving the infrastructure.
Larry Fink.
Yeah.
Larry Fink. It's everywhere. Everywhere you look.
Maybe Michael Castellero can help us when he comes in to understand this because he has more finance knowledge than us. But so essentially what I understand is that they're going to be using this money to invest, kind of like, how like that's basically what is happening with your retirement funds and things like that, is that these people are investing this money and it's growing your portfolio and things like that. And so is that what they're going to be doing, or is that what he's talking about? Or because I can't imagine that there's any way that they're going to be, actually taking money out.
They're taking money out.
Yeah. I imagine that it has to more do with, because I watched this and I said, I feel like this is a little misleading because
it's really not. This is, this has been out for, I've been talking about this for a long time. Tiffany Cianci came out and she kind of walked it through. They are going to borrow from your 401k and your pensions because they're out of money. So they're basically borrowing.
But I wonder if that's is that normal in financial industry though already?
Just starting to happen.
Yeah. And so that's what I want to find out is I don't have enough, because that sounds like a normal finance thing to me. I'm aware of that seems normal to me in the financial world.
You're going to lose your pension.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying is my understanding is that they do that already. It's not that it's something new.
Oh,
and so yeah, so that's why I thought it was a little misleading, because it's like, oh, he's doing this, but I think it's something that's already happens. It's that.
Put it to you this way: do you think that banks should be able to borrow money that is saved for you?
No, that's the whole problem with the finance industry
it's all rigged. There's a guy.
I would say
there's a guy that went on 60 Minutes and he said, when you see the guys on the floor of the Wall Street and they're throwing up the papers, he goes, that's imagery now. That doesn't no longer exist. He goes, this is Wall Street. And they go into one of these data centers where they have computers on every side. He goes, these transactions are milliseconds. They're making transactions based on where things are at. And it's
exactly
because it's now AI driven. So you don't even have any control over the stock market anymore. It's all been driven by AI code. And he goes, the days of the guys on Wall Street and this kind of thing, he goes, it's really over. This is Wall Street now. And he walks in and shows all the computers. And he said, on top of that, the entire system is rigged to the big money.
Yes.
And MMTLP should recognize that. They should recognize that. I think Michael Castellero is getting a piece of that action.
Yeah. Have you ever watched the Epstein video, the Steve Bannon interview with Epstein?
Yeah.
And where he talks about fractal banking and everything like that. Very interesting stuff that I'm not a financial expert, but I just learned a lot. And what it's crazy is that, if we all went to the bank right now and asked for our money, they wouldn't have it.
Right.
We all, all together, they wouldn't have it. And that's
all in the Golden Fort Knox. Trump
Yeah.
and Elon Musk are going to go next week, I think.
Oh yeah, I think I want to go still. Hopefully, he said, hopefully they have it.
Trump is going with Elon Musk next week after he cuts our energy in half, our energy costs in half, because he promised he would do that within 12 months. And I mean, nobody notices. Isaiah, one more time, just one more time. You know that it is fixed for that reason. You don't have to look too far to figure out whether the media is complicit with the political environment. It's one and the same. And you know that because if the Democrats don't take advantage of Donald Trump saying he was going to cut energy prices in half, if they don't play that over and over on every single ad right now, then you know that they're complicit. Because you have so much information you could destroy Donald Trump with, they don't even do it. They make up stuff and you go, that's not true. I'm like, I know. Why don't they just talk about the stuff that's true though? And that's the part you're missing. There's like I did. It's got to be aware of what's happening with Donald Trump. You want to give some Donald Trump before and after?
Prices in half within, mark it down and you can get very angry at me if we don't do it. Within 12 months, your energy prices will be cut in half. My plan.
Can we play that one? I just want to play that and then we'll move on. It's clip number 11 with Donald Trump. Is that one right there?
Oh no, this is just one I found that I thought would be funny to play that first part where he says, right, mark it down, 12 months.
You'd be mad at me if you like. Clip number 11 is some of the promises and just.
Oh, that's right. You did have those.
Having trouble trying to figure out why people aren't more concerned. Every day I just want to just continue to say it until we get answers for it. Because if we go all the way up till Donald Trump's leaving or 2028, or he's going to extend and try to get a third term, and we still haven't got these questions answered, will people still be saying, oh, he's still playing 5D chess? It's just coming right around the corner. He's got the entire world figured out. We're energy independent. I mean, sure, groceries are 10 times what they used to cost, and young people can't buy a home, and everybody's fighting with each other, and people are still dying from the genetic therapies they stuck in their arm, and our kids are still getting indoctrinated, and we still got transgenderism going on. Our borders are wide open again because Donald Trump has left and the new person's in. Now the borders are wide open. We still can't control our elections. We still have the Smith Modernization Act that hasn't been addressed. I could go on for days. There's a takeover of America beginning to happen, and nobody's even saying anything about it. It's amazing. Even the people that you think are the smartest people around, they don't even see how obvious this is.
Yeah, and Trump's polling 99% in Israel and 34% in America.
That was my post. I love that one. All right. Clip number 11. Trump fans, I need you. Tell me what's going on here.
Want to draft your kids to die in wars, and they will never fight themselves. Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. Isn't it pathetic?
We do not want war with Iran. We actually want peace.
If I'm elected president, we are going to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C. My plan will cut energy prices in half or more than that. That means we're going down and getting gasoline below $2 a gallon. Starting on day one, we will end inflation and make America affordable again. This we will make housing much more affordable. As inflation is tamed, a vote for Trump means your groceries will be cheaper.
A vote for Donald Trump is a vote for a man who wants to end wars, not start them.
Nations do not want to fight endless wars. We're getting out of the endless wars. We have to do it. No new war. We don't need the wars. Foreign lands, countries you've never heard of, countries that don't even want us there. We will keep America out of foolish, stupid, ridiculous foreign wars. The plan is to get out of endless wars, to bring our soldiers back home, to not be policing agents all over the world. We were crazy what we did. We had these endless wars. They go on for 21, 22 years, spending billions and billions of dollars. We'll stay around the country for 15 years, just bomb the hell out of everybody, make everybody miserable. Nobody knows why we're there, the wars that never end. These endless wars that we've been in, I've gotten us out of so many. We don't want to get into wars. We're tired of fighting. I'm the only president in the last 84 years that didn't start a war. Under Trump, we will have no more wars. No more wars. No more wars. We will have prosperity and peace. We will have prosperity and we will have peace. Remember, I'm the president of peace. They said he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. He's going to start a war. I said, no. My rhetoric is going to keep us out of wars, and that's what happened. My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker. We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. 2 wars, Venezuela, where we lost nobody, and here we lost 13 people. And I say this, I will end that war in one day. It'll take 24 hours. I know Zelensky well. I know Putin well. What I think you should do, if you're going to do it, then you have to go into Epstein's friend. Still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. Favors were sold for cash.
Isaiah. Some of the compilations that are put together, that you could play clips like that for 10 days. I mean, they didn't even touch on half the things that he promised that he hasn't even talked about since he's become president.
Yep.
And I just keep asking myself, why am I still hanging on? What's got me hoping? Isaiah, what is it? What's in the back of my mind that keeps Rob on the Trump train just a little bit, just enough not to really go, what in the world are we doing?
Well, there's some things that he does do. I know you and I talk about this just offhand if we're in a conversation on the phone or something.
Yeah, con men do just enough good to keep you in the game.
That's what I think it is.
War and inflation and the things that actually are elections, things that are structural to our nation, nothing's happened. In fact, it's been more consolidated under Trump than it was prior, and that's the key to a society that runs properly is a deconsolidation of power. We've consolidated more power since Donald Trump has been president the first time, and even more so now.
No prosecutions have come from the Obama-Biden regime yet.
Nothing there. Nothing with COVID. Nothing.
Yeah.
Sad but true. Last one before we
what's the statute of limitations ran out for Fauci?
Of course.
Yeah.
Everybody thought something was going to happen to Fauci. Oh, they're going to get him. They're not getting anybody. Yeah. Nobody's getting anybody. It's ridiculous. They're all criminals. Every one of them is a criminal. Should I say everyone? Can I say everyone? 99%. It gives me 1% wiggle room on the criminals in DC. But here is Alex Jones. Now, Alex Jones, I used to get frustrated with Alex Jones because Alex Jones was, you don't understand. I got to stick with Trump. Trump is, I know he did this wrong. And he's got the wrong people around him. Trump. No, he's got the wrong people. He's getting the wrong advice. Trump. This was what was going on for a better part of 6 months. I said, I can't even listen to Alex Jones anymore because it's not.
Which does make sense for it to be the answer about having the wrong people around him, because I was just thinking about this the other day, Rob. I said, Rob's not Trump's not a general. Trump's not a military general. He's not some special. He doesn't have all this knowledge of wars and the intricacies of how everything happened. You know what I mean? And so he has to rely on all these advisors to give him information. And that's what JD Vance has said in the past, is that Israel's giving Trump bad information. And
why is he looking to Israel?
Yeah. And so, no, that's my point. He's listening to, he's trusting people that he shouldn't.
Well, I don't know. I look at it like this. He's the one that picks the people that he's going to take advice from.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He thinks these people are good for some reason. I don't know.
What if he doesn't? What if he's just in the same game with them? What if it's all just a charade?
Yeah, that's
possible to believe that it's just a charade.
No, that's
where
most likely
it feels like theater to me. Doesn't it feel like theater at this point? Now, if you go back to Donald Trump all the way to 2016 to today, doesn't it just feel like it just feels like it's theater to me? More and more and more and more. It just feels like it's theater. Look at Alex Jones, though, because that's where I started with. Alex Jones was the biggest Trump supporter to the point of obnoxiousness. I couldn't take it anymore. I started turning him on, and I listened to Alex Jones every day for a little bit. To me, he's the leader in alternative news, so I get a piece of what he's saying every day. Listen to what he said about Donald Trump and MAGA just recently. Check this out. This is he's given up. When he gives up, it's like your family giving up. It's like Donald Jr. coming out and saying he's not going to support his dad anymore. It's crazy. Here's Alex Jones. MAGA is dead, according to Alex Jones. Check it out.
Dead. And President Trump is the person that killed it. I could spend an hour breaking down how in the last 8 months, Trump has changed course on so many of the bedrock issues that he campaigned in the last 3 campaigns for. And I'm not coming out and criticizing Trump today because he attacked me again on Truth Social, calling me a loser, bankrupt, that he's fired me, and just all this childish high school apprentice level crap.
There you go. But Still very popular with a certain segment of the population. They will not stop. Can't stop loving him. They just can't stop loving DJT. All right, let's bring in Michael Castellero. Got to get an update from Michael Castellero. Michael Castellero.
He's not there yet. His video and mic is off right now, so we'll see when he comes back on.
Yep. He was on.
Yep, we'll see when he comes back here.
I saw him there for a minute.
Yes, I did too.
Well, let's stick with where we were at then.
There he is. Here he is.
Michael
All
Castellero.
right, let's bring him back in here. Let's do this.
Gonna do a walk and talk with us. There he is.
How you doing, guys?
What's up, brother? You got
All
some
right.
going on? You got a press conference getting ready to go down, or are you going to get some time on the beach?
I want my family to the beach. Need a day, family day.
So Michael
So needed.
Castellero, let me give him a background on you, Michael. You were on the show once before. You reached out to me and said they are trying to throw me in prison out of the Southern District of New York for financial fraud crimes, which you say are just made up out of whole cloth, and you think you're getting taking your livelihood away from you. And last time we talked, you were worried they were going to try and put you in prison. So what is the story? Did you?
Well, they are. Up until now, they are.
What's
They
the story?
are. They gave me 10 years. No, they gave me 11 years. And one extra for voicing my First Amendment right because I showed no remorse.
So they threw an extra year at you for saying you had no remorse for talking out?
Oh, he dropped out. Not sure what happened.
He's on the beach. That's going to be hard to get to.
It's going to be hard.
So he was sentenced to 11 years, Isaiah.
Wow. 1 year added just for voicing his First Amendment right. That's kind of crazy to me.
And he had Peter Tickton, Trump's attorney, is the one that was fighting to get him a pardon. So right now, I think he's got maybe 30, 60 days. There he is, pop in there.
Oh, here we go.
So it's
there we go. He's back.
You cut out on us, Michael. You cut out on us. Let's start over again. So tell me what you said. You got one extra year for voicing your First Amendment.
Yep.
So what's the total score? We lost you right there. You went down.
11.
11 years total.
Yep.
When do you have to report?
September 10th.
So now the only thing that can happen is can you get a pardon from the governor of New York?
No, I need a pardon from the president. And I also need we're filing an appeal because everything is the night before there's been a recording that they quote unquote head of our sales guys, who was not my sales guy, that I've been fighting for. So the sales guy, as they came after him also, disputed the validity of the tape. And the judge says, I don't care whether it's him or it's not. The sales tactics are there anyway. Right. So the guy this could have been from a witness that recorded this tape. They brought in this star witness who was involved with my company for 3 days. He was a drug dealer or a drug addict. I'm sorry. He could have been recording this tape with his cousin, high as a kite, just to try to cut his sentence short. And they allowed it. No validity. They didn't question the part of the tape. We asked for a mistrial. We asked for everything. And the judge just like, I don't care.
It almost feels like a show trial. Like they had the answer before they went to trial.
He's at the end. The judge had the answer from the beginning. I've been fighting this tape from when I heard it in my trial. But all of a sudden, when the person whose voice it was, I said, my lawyer goes to me, how can we do it? I go, bring him in and just let him say the ABCs, and you'll know it's not him. Any human being with hearing will know that it's not him. The judge did not care. At sentencing, he got angrier because our statements, well, I refused to say statement because I was too already agitated. He refused to say a statement, and my business partner, Fran, she's 61. You're gonna put her in jail for 8 years? I mean, think about it. That's ridiculous, right? And saying that her and her daughter, because she kept saying in her closing statement that we were an exempt reporting advisor, clients were her, we're sorry. Didn't do that. So he's like, oh, you weren't showing any remorse. My partner Brian said the same thing. Give him 10 years. We've submitted letters of clients. You know, when you're being sentenced, you're supposed to submit letters from family or whatever, so the judge can use a sentence. There's about 15 clients collectively that submitted letters of all the money they made with us. The judge wiped himself with it. It was such a sham.
What do you think's going on up here, Michael? Do you think they're just trying to? Is it just a theft, basically? Are they going to steal all your resources?
That's all they want. Especially
just using the law to take your money from you and put you in prison, basically, as they steal your money.
Right, and being that I've been doing media, they actually filed a statement on May 13th, a good week before the sentencing, that basically I've been, instead of saying that I've been voicing my First Amendment opinion, no, I've been using the media to lie. Oh, Mr. Castellero stated that he was politically persecuted for being his affinity to President Trump, his membership to properties, and all these other things. And they actually said, no, that's a lie. How do you say that's a lie? Yeah.
I know.
First Amendment should be your opinion.
Yeah, and SDNY went after Trump too. I'm thinking he would want to give you a pardon just based on his knowledge of what goes down in the Southern District of New York, but not happening yet, huh?
If he saw this, I'm sure he would. All you have to tell him is SDNY. All you have to tell him is SDNY, and he would probably, in 5 minutes, he wouldn't even, I don't think he'd read anything else.
What's Peter Tickton saying? Isn't Peter Tickton the one that's carrying it to Trump?
Peter Tickton says that, he's, God bless him, he said he's not going to let me serve a minute of that sentence. He said it to other people. But, it's the stressful part between now and September 10th when it could come.
You got, 4 months?
Yeah. But, they don't care. I mean, my lawyer told the judge, I said, you do this for forfeiture. His family's on the street. The judge is like, oh, no, I'm still want full forfeiture for him not being remorseful for going on media. So that's how he worked. That's how he paraded his little around First Amendment rights. That I went on media, it was because of lack of remorse, not because I went to use to say that it was really him.
Yeah, you and I talked about that. I said, are you sure you want to come on? Or are you going to get yourself in trouble? And you said, well, if I don't, I'm really in trouble. So I got to at least try. And then they tacked on another year for going out into the media world.
Right. And I think honestly, he was provoked. He was trying to do so much more because at one point towards the end, because he waited for me, because he did a half-hour speech on why he's not, I'm out of my First Amendment right, and this and this and this. And then he's like, but he's not showing remorse. And then he looked at me directly and goes, I don't care about your politics. And his face turned red and he yelled at it again, I don't care. And then he did it 3, 4, 5 times. And it's like he had a TBS breakdown on the bench.
Really?
It was of that magnitude. I couldn't believe it.
When you did this, did you go to a full 12-person trial?
Well, that one, no. That the sentencing is not. It's only him.
So it's just a bench. But you went to a trial that found guilty, and then he gives the sentence.
Yes, correct.
And what do they do? Just in your opinion, what do they do? Just did they have a rigged jury, or do they falsify the information to make it look like you're guilty?
Both.
Just gotta move into it.
Both. I'll say both. Because jury selection's 35 people, I believe, or 37, and it was 4 people that both people, this was a jury you want to have. One's a tax accountant, one was a financial attorney, one's a financial advisor. One lady actually said that basically all her neighbors are in the pre-IPO business. Those are the people you want to have, but those are the people that come from random block. Yeah, you bring in a 75-year-old woman who lives in the Bronx, who takes care of her 90-year-old father, whatever, and you tell her that you don't care if your father's got to go to the doctor. She's got to come to every day.
Mike, I'm nervous about this.
How much money are they seizing?
So all my stuff, which is where like everything that I've made, which is 24 million and change, and then they want also restitution. So that's full forfeiture of me and my two partners, I'm sorry. And then they want full forfeiture of 115 million on top of it for victims, which there are none.
Wow.
0 victims.
No victims. Nobody filed a fraud charge against you that was that you were working with. None of that.
No. Even that they've attempted to coerce to be victims couldn't even be a victim. There was a guy that called in, right, from Florida, quote unquote, he was a victim. He's technically a caretaker for himself. And he starts off the conversation on rant and rave on the brokerage industry, not even having to do with us. We were like, out of a 15-minute speech, we were probably 10 seconds of it. He's like, I had a problem. My uncle invested in Palantir, Airbnb, SoFi, and Pinterest. He received his Pinterest and SoFi. That's how he starts the conversation. Then he proceeds to go, my Palantir took a little bit longer. Yeah, it took a little bit longer because we asked for your power of attorney proof of you being your uncle's caretaker. And he took his sweet time getting it to us. I finally received my Palantir, but all these other boutique brokerage firms were calling me and asking my uncle to invest in this and that. Like, that has nothing to do. Like it's just like a rant on the financial industry, which I get, but that had zero to do with him being a victim in regards to us. So it turns out because, he received only half of the Airbnb investment back because he took his sweet time on the power of attorney paperwork, and he received everything plus profits. So he really had nothing to say. Those are the people that they constantly kept bringing up. That's why they fought and filed an order to bring anything post the company being taken from us. Once the receiver was brought on, we weren't allowed to talk about the receiver. We weren't allowed to talk about the company being taken from us. That stuff was mute.
Wow.
That's the frustrating part.
You're in a pickle. How's the family holding up?
Stressed, but what are you gonna do, right? I can't just sit home. I gotta fight more than that. I give a moment. I kind of, when he went full tangent like that, I wish Fox News would win fast news. You know what I mean? Or some big news media outlet because the way, and honestly, that was my push. Why I tried to do media. I wanted to be to that point. And I knew that I was effective when his face turned the color of it for me. I unfortunately knew that I was effective. Unfortunately, it got me the next year in jail. I knew what I did. Them. And they've continuously now, I'm filing complaints to the Office of Inspector General, to the DOJ, to everybody else, because we are appealing the crap out of this. And we are going to fight it all the way to the end. Because in a financial crime, how do you block math? That should be the least thing that should be blocked.
Right.
Yet they did it, and the judge allowed it. So the judge was complicit with them every step, in my opinion.
What is just real quick before we let you go? What is what's the nexus of the case? What are they charging you with? That you didn't file? Something like you didn't.
They're charging us with investment advisor fraud, conspiracy to commit investment advisor fraud, obstruction of justice, all irrelevant charges against us because we were what the government calls an exempt reporting advisor. That means everything that they receive from us is voluntary. An investment advisor trades on a daily basis in the equity markets. They buy, sell. They have to just give all that stuff to the government. But you need to, which I get because that stuff needs to be verified, right? If the advisor's buying stock ahead for himself, that means he's doing something wrong. We didn't do that. We had a net price for everything. The stock market was an exit point. So they created this whole narrative from taking the business process, a Ponzi-like scheme, versus 18 months passing by to getting us to a point where they had to make up something. And they probably went to the judge ahead of time. Oh, we do charge this. And I think a grand jury, 2 or 3 times, didn't want it. And then all of a sudden they pushed, so they got their narrative. It's insane.
A lot of show trials going on around the country. I got 4 in Missouri right now, Michael. Very similar stories where the government came in and just railroaded people, and they have the power, they have the media, and it ain't good. Keep me
It ain't
posted.
good.
Brother. I'll let
Right,
you get over.
because
Go
they
ahead.
put the media on.
Yeah, the media doesn't help. You know, the
Right.
media. You would think the big media coverage would be something that would be good for the people to come out and say, "Listen, you know, power is getting to the power of government is usurping on the rights of its citizens," and that is what the First Amendment was supposed to be about, was pushing back against power. And I think they're right in bed with them for the most part. That's what I think.
And wait until Brian and Fran come on with you too, because when they get into the nitty gritty of everything, because everybody handled their own different part of the business. When they get on, you know, I know that I shocked you the first time we were on and everything else. When Fran especially, because she knows the rules more better than anybody else, better than them probably, you're gonna be like, you're gonna fall off your chair.
We gotta do that next week.
Yep,
All
that's
right.
fine with me. They're
All
fine.
right,
They're ready.
Go enjoy your day. I'll get in touch
All
with
right,
you
thank
when you're free. Just get in touch with me. Then we'll set the time next week, and we'll have everybody on so that people can really understand what is happening. And again, I think we got to chop it up and clip it and get it out as far and wide as we can, so people start to recognize your story.
God bless you guys, man. Thank you.
You got it, brother. Michael Castellero, everybody. That story bums me out, Isaiah. That's a guy that's going to prison for 10 years. And he said it's just a show trial. They basically just are trying to steal his money.
Mm-hmm.
Take his
And
money.
if you read the, because I've read the indictment, I read it and I can't see anything different. I think he said this when he mentioned this, is that what? So you're just going to come after the entire financial industry? Like, that's what it seems like, is that the things that they're purporting are what every single finance company or investment company does. You convince people to buy your investments through sales calls. I don't know what
he says. He's not licensed, like whatever because a lot of people do that, right? A lot of people are union workers and they're non-union workers. It's the same kind of thing. I'm not in your system. I'm going to do this on my own, right? Show people that I've made people money. I'm going to show them an investment record. They're going to buy in. They're going to give me money to invest.
And I know there's technicalities that are different about his in a regular investment firm too. And that's why I'm interested to hear the lady talk about the rules, because I'm sure she can be like, according to U.S. Code section, blah, blah, all those things. And
the reason it feels like he's telling the truth is because it seemed he knew that he was going to get in trouble if he went out onto and started doing interviews. I think he did one with Ann Vandersteel. He did one with me. In fact, Ann Vandersteel, when I talked to her down in Stuart, Florida over the weekend, she brought up Michael Castellero, and she said she basically just described it as a theft of his money, legalized theft of his money. They targeted him. It's $24 million. They'll run him through court and they'll snatch that money up, and wherever that goes, it goes. But she basically said it's just an organized takedown of his finances.
Yeah.
Right? That ain't good.
I would love to talk to him and ask him about because if you go on FINRA, there's charges against him from FINRA from before this happened. There's different things where I don't know if he had complaints or something like that, but over the years he's had issues that he's dealt with. And so I'm curious if it's kind of a building type of situation, you know what I mean? Where he's like fighting these small battles as he's going, just as any company does, right? Just fighting these small battles, and then all of a sudden it culminates because they're able to build a narrative, like we were talking about. You know what I mean? Build a narrative and then go out on media and then portray a story, not necessarily bring facts in and charge it with, through the legal system, but rather portray the specific story. Because
that's just it kind of correlates to what I'm watching go down on social media. It's just these techniques that some of these people use, right, to persuade you out of what is real. Like I said, what's happening to me on social media is very odd. You have these drive-by shootings on social media that have whatever I'm saying in the video or whatever I'm putting out there, they make a comment to make whatever I say look bad. But then when I draw them into a conversation, they just go away. I think they just want it up on the post so that they can kind of mislead people as to what I'm talking about. It's strange. And I'm watching it through multiple different angles. That's why I say,
well, they're trying to make you look like you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
But then again, I offer it right here, because there'll be a lot of people that we have mutual people in our lives with Freedom Principle, Liberty What is it? Liberty Sentinel? It's not Liberty Sentinel, is it?
I'm pretty sure it's the Liberty Sentinel.
Oh, Liberty Sentinel's, I think, Friendly Fire. That is Alex Newman. Liberty Sentinel. I think is it Missouri Sentinel? Liberty Sentinel is Alex Newman, right?
Yeah, I don't know of any Missouri Sentinel. I only know of the Liberty Sentinel. Maybe you're thinking of the Liberty Alliance.
No. Oh, it's Missouri Sentinel. Let me look it up here real fast. I think we should invite them to a debate.
The newspaper, the Sentinel.
I don't know what it is.
There's a newspaper in Missouri called the Sentinel.
Missouri.
Show me Sentinel, John Grady said.
Show me Sentinel. Show me Sentinel.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you, John. So if we can get them into a public debate, they would never want to run away from a debate, would they? Because they want to shove it right down our throats, don't they? Because they know about the AI data more than we do.
Yes. You think James will get on a conversation with you on here?
I think James is involved with some of these people, so maybe he can bring them out.
Yeah.
So maybe some of these politicians, but I'd really like to do it with the so-called grassroots conservatives. I'd like me and you in a debate with Show Me Sentinel and somebody from the Freedom Principle, and we can talk about what's best for Missouri, and we can have a face-to-face. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Let's put that out real fast. How do we do that? How do I do that without looking like I'm causing trouble? I really think it'd be good for us to.
Yeah, we can put out a post. I would think just like your post where you got Mike Koslow, right?
Yeah, Koslow's going to do it. I didn't have time.
Yeah,
when
I would say just put out a call to action.
With them. Maybe we'll do it at the same time. Koslow does it, and maybe I'll bring one of the candidates who's running for office on our side. So we'll have Mike Koslow as a candidate, along with Freedom Principle and Show Me Sentinel, and then me and you, and then a candidate who's running for office who disagrees with AI data centers, come from the Republican side, and we'll do a 3-on-3 panel back and forth. That'd be fun, right?
Yeah.
What if they do that?
I feel like the problem is that it's going to be not problem, but the funny thing that I think we're going to run into is that the arguments that I've seen a lot from the establishment or from these grassroots people that are pushing the data centers, it's like, well, you weren't protesting when this happened and this happened and this happened, about the slow kind of, the slow boiling the frog that happened with all of this data center and chips.
And they say that we're already being surveilled, and this. Yeah. I said, what we're talking about is total surveillance. I'm not happy with the way we're being surveilled now, but you're saying with the AI data centers is we want total surveillance from now until forever, to where it's technological. You can't get out of it unless you start destroying the AI data centers themselves. So I'm sure they'll be protected by drones and everything else. It gets to a point where you're technologically trapped. Yes. Why can't they see that? I mean, it's going to happen to them too.
That's kind of what I explain to people, is that because when I talk about flock safety cameras, they're like, well, we're watched everywhere we go already. I said, yeah, but the difference is that the federal government has access to this through the Patriot Act, and our local police officers do not have access to this without a warrant. And so they have to get a warrant, and then they have to by a judge, and then they can search through this information, But with the flock safety cameras, Rob, the problem is that they can go on their computer inside of their police vehicle and then search for, white van with scratch on it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to start pulling up all these white vans with that similar scratch. Well, as soon as they pull up a white van that is not the van that they're actually looking for, that's a warrantless search, because they identified someone that's not the actual person of interest.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a warrantless search and seizure. That's a violation of our Fourth Amendment.
They don't care about that.
No, but that's that. I just put that. I want to help people realize the differences. That's what I'm trying to help people realize, is that yes, this is surveilling us, but through a long process, through a warrant process, that's how they get in. That's how they get access to this.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to do that with these AI systems. That's
it's all going to be open to whoever's running the systems.
Yeah. Sorry for my rant, but
whoever's controlling the systems will have access to every move that you make. Literally every single move that you make all throughout your life.
Mm-hmm.
And people are signing up in droves for that. They love it. It's crazy. All right. Rocket careers, Isaiah.
Let's do it.
Where's Mitch?
He was the first comment of the day.
I got some big stories coming up, so we're gonna jump over to some just random stories that I'm interested in. So hang with us, because they're going to be very cool. Cars for Kids story, Britney Spears story, Massacre of the Innocents story, and Bondi and Blanche kind of ties into that Epstein, Massacre of the Innocents. This is all tied around Epstein because somebody said I wasn't talking about the Epstein files anymore. Some of the stuff in the Epstein files, though, is unbelievable when you really think about it. And then Bondi, who said that she had videos of Jeffrey Epstein, porn videos with Jeffrey Epstein and children, tons of them, hundreds of them, thousands of them, she said.
10,000.
Todd Blanche says there's none.
Yes.
So one AG under Trump says there's thousands of them. The next AG under Trump, Todd Blanche, says there's none. And by the way, Todd Blanche, when his name as the interim AG, I said, that's going to be his AG. That's the one that everybody's complaining about. You know, Todd Blanche is a Democrat. He's the one running the Attorney General's office, and he's the one running it. It's not Pam Bondi, so they get rid of Pam Bondi. Now he's the official AG, and everybody goes, well, who's it going to be? Is it going to be, they started throwing names around. Rudy Giuliani, is it going to be this person? I said, no, it's going to be Todd Blanche. She ain't going nowhere.
No.
And now we know that Todd Blanche is not going anywhere. Exactly. I'm not very smart, Isaiah. How do I keep getting these things right?
Yeah, he's in the fold, you know.
How do I get them right though? How do I get it right when I don't know anything about anything? I should have asked. I should have asked Show Me Sentinel and
I know
principal who it was going to be.
You should have. Right. Ask James really quick.
James will know. Rocketcareers.com, ROCKIT careers.com for all of you medium to small size businesses out there. HR does not get the job done, and you need somebody to help you recruit the proper talent into your company. Recruiting, job seekers, outplacement services, and they do it cost efficiently. So if you are somebody who's looking to save yourself a little bit money, get better candidates at your business, you have to think rocketcareers.com. Network from coast to coast, been at it for years and years and years and years. They will put the right candidate in the right position for you and your small to medium-sized business. Rely on Rocket, ROCKIT careers.com, 636-778-2419. 636-778-2419. Rocket, ROCKIT careers.com. My good friends, Mitch and Brian, will take care of you. Who's next?
Joneswater.
Joneswater.com, 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 636-899-1040. You'll be the filter, or you'll buy the filter, Joneswater.com, for all of your air and water filtration needs. Never forget Joneswater.com. Again, if you are not drinking clean water, if you're not breathing fresh air inside of your home, then odds are you're going to have sinus problems, you're going to have skin problems, you're going to have respiratory problems, you're going to have problems if you have to breathe in that funky, nasty air. When I was talking to Everett about it, he goes, just think about it, Rob. He goes, think if you've not been in a home for a day or so, and it's sunny outside, and you open up your curtains, you see all that stuff in the air. He goes, all that gunk that's in the air, all that heavy funk that is in the air, you're going to breathe that in all day long. And odds are at some point it's going to have an effect on your immune system and your body. You have to have an air filtration system, especially if you have skin problems, asthma, allergy problems, and you got to have air filtration systems, and you got to be drinking clean water. I don't even need anybody to tell me that. I mean, we never, ever, ever, ever drink out of our faucet down here in Florida. Ever, not one time. We just don't mess with it. We have an air filtration system and a water filtration system in our home, and that is what keeps us healthy and happy. And as soon as I went away from it, Isaiah, you got to see it when I stayed at my buddy's house who doesn't have the air filtration system. What was there 2 days and I was sick?
Yep.
You're a witness to what went 2 days. 2 days I was there and I was ill. Joneswater.com, Joneswater.com, 636-899-1040. If you want to do business on the Missouri side with Everett Jones and Joneswater.com, St. Charles, Lincoln, Franklin, Warren, St. Louis, and Jefferson County. And if you go to the east side, Madison, Monroe, Jersey, and St. Clair. Joneswater.com, Joneswater.com, 636-899-1040. And then we got to get to Valvoline Express Care and my good friend, Tony Clark. If it's time for an oil change, it's time for Valvoline Express Care. Valvoline Express Care, if you want to see the locations, if you want to get some coupons, it's Valvoline Express Care. Locations in Warrenton, Missouri, Cape Girardeau, St. Peter's Parkway, Mid-Rivers Mall Drive, Troy, Illinois, and Lime Ferry Road. 15 minutes from Bay to on your way. He said, Rob, there's 2 things that people complain about when they get an oil change. One is it takes too long, and number 2, they get pressured by salespeople to buy add-ons. He said, we don't do either one of those things. No appointments, no sales pressure, 15 minutes from Bay to on your way. All Valvoline branded products. Valvoline Express Care. My good friend, Tony Clark. Again, locations in Warrenton, Cape Girardeau, St. Peter's Parkway, Mid-Rivers Mall Drive, Troy, Illinois, and Lime Ferry Road. All right, housekeeping. We're going to do 4 stories that I find very interesting, kind of off the cuff for us a little bit, but just following the news of the day. By the way, the Cardinals play on Memorial Day at 1:10 Eastern Standard Time, 12:10 Central Daylight Time. Cardinals are hot. That's Jordan Walker. I don't know if you're paying attention to him. I'm a Cardinal baseball fan, but I'm going to tell you, they got a superstar in the making by the name of Jordan Walker. Through a third of the season, he's one of the top players in all of Major League Baseball. The Cardinals have their next Albert Pujols, and nobody's even paying attention to him. His name is Jordan Walker, if you have not been paying attention. But housekeeping, let's start with the Cars for Kids story. This was on Redacted. Yeah. Clayton Morris's wife breaks the story. What was it? 1-800-1877 Cars for Kids.
Yep.
Remember?
Oh yeah.
Cars for Kids. I can't think of the whole song.
I feel like it was the same time as the freecreditreport.com commercials. The FREE, that spells free, creditreport.com, baby. Those commercials were popular where they were doing these jingles.
Cars for Kids was big. What do you think
I remember
was going for, if you had to guess?
How much what?
Where do you think the money for Cars for Kids were going? Because at the time it was, bring us your clunkers. We're gonna do something with them. It's gonna bring money to kids. This is what the money for Cars for Kids was going to. This blew my mind when I heard this. How do these people get away with it? I guess you can just lie like the government does. You can lie and nothing happens to you. It's just so crazy. Cars for Kids. Here's the real story behind Cars for Kids. This is the show Redacted, and Clayton Morris's wife is taking the lead. Check it out.
Kids case that was just ruled in California because a judge has ruled that Cars for Kids, the jingle, is false advertising. Now you might think that this is a charity for underprivileged kids. It's absolutely not. It was found out that it is an organization used to fund Jewish nonprofit group called URA that organizes Jewish summer camps and gap year trips for Israel for just Jewish teenagers from New York and New Jersey. And in fact, they don't even operate in California. When their COO took the stand in this case, she said, actually, no, the only thing we've got in California is a backpack giveaway, but we raise 30% of our income from California, but we don't do anything there. It really has nothing to do with underprivileged kids. We are just trying to send Jewish kids on the East Coast on these trips and match them with families. Turns out they have millions of dollars, mostly, again, a third of it raised from California. They bought a building in Israel for $16 million to grow the Israel program. And they explicitly stated, we're not here to help needy kids. The judge said,
wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, let me
crazy story.
The thing is that people just don't look into these things.
We didn't even talk about the shooting at the White House. That's how crazy this is getting, right? You have a shootout at the White House, and doesn't even make the news. Didn't even make my agenda. $1-877
for Kids is an American Jewish 501c3 nonprofit car donation organization based in Lakewood, New Jersey. Now, I gotta say, it's a great tactic because one, they named it with a K, Cars for Kids. So you're kind of getting around something there, you know what I mean, legally. And then the other thing is that by donating your car, that doesn't mean that they're going to give the car to a family. You know what I mean? They might make you feel that way, but
I would say it's very misleading.
Yeah, it's a car to help these kids go to Israel. That's what you're donating for, right, Rob?
Cars for Kids.
Cars for Kids to go to Israel. That's what it is.
Are you starting to notice a little bit of a trend on the things that we're talking about today? Is it not amazing? And it's just one after another, after another, after another. It's just very easy to see. Let's do Britney Spears. Were you a Britney Spears fan back in the day?
No, I was not a big Britney Spears fan.
I was not a Britney
Spears
in the
U.S., Canada, and Israel. Interesting.
I play her because something went screwy wrong with Britney Spears. One of the most popular female entertainers ever was Britney Spears. Came out of Disney, starts a musical career. She starts to get very sexual in her, because she was like the America's Little Sweetheart there for a while. And then she turns into this, I don't know, very, very sexual oriented dancing and music and outfits and the like. And then she ends up getting taken into a conservatorship. Are you aware of these things? I had never heard of this before.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, you can just say this person is crazy, so they're going to have to stay with us, and we're going to monitor this person, and we're going to take control of their money and their assets and their life. And she's been in this conservatorship for quite some time. And if people have been paying attention to it, Britney Spears does these crazy videos, and I don't even know if they are AI. I mean, how do I know? But these these videos are put out where she is acting all bananas and crazy, and she's got the big black mascara on her face, and she's doing all these nutty things. She's half naked all the time, and it just seems very out of place. Well, now that she's out of this conservatorship, she does a video under Britney Spears. This is right from her own page, and she sounds completely lucid and normal. Isaiah, I can't make head nor tails of it. You got to tell me what's going on here, because they've made her out to be crazy for years with these crazy videos where she's juggling swords and this type of thing. And now she's out on her own, and she's got her own Britney Spears platform. And when she goes out and she does these talks on her Britney Spears platform, she seems completely normal. Not dressed completely normal, but sounds completely normal. Let's check it out. Britney Spears, clip number, what is it, 10?
Yep.
Check her out.
Okay, so I'm here today to answer all of your guys' questions, and the first main question that you guys have been asking me is, what am I going to do now that the conservatorship's over with? Very good question. Well, let's see, I've been in the conservatorship for 13 years. It's a really long time to be in a situation you don't want to be in. So I'm just grateful, honestly, for each day and being able to have the keys to my car and being able to be independent and feel like a woman, and owning an ATM card, seeing cash for the first time, being able to buy candles. It's the little things for us women, but it makes a huge difference. And I'm grateful for that, you know. It's nice. It's really nice. But I'm not here to be a victim. I lived with victims my whole life as a child. That's why I got out of my house, and I worked for 20 years and worked my ass off. I'm here to be an advocate for people with real disabilities and real illnesses. I'm a very strong woman, so I can only imagine what the system has done to those people. So hopefully my little story, hopefully my story will make an impact and make some changes in the corrupt system. And the Free Britney movement, you guys rock. Honestly, my voice was muted and threatened for so long, and I wasn't able to speak up or say anything, and because of you guys and the awareness of kind of knowing what was going on and delivering that news to the public for so long, you gave it awareness to all of them. And because of you, I honestly think you guys saved my life in a way, 100%. And I know there's a lot of jokes about the Free Britney movement. We're not free, we're expensive. Okay, birdies, I'm expensive too. But anyways, with that said, let's move forward. God bless you all. We're gonna have a good year, a good Christmas, and rock on.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Pretty Patriot says she's in a conservatorship, and she started that video by saying she's now out of it, right?
Yeah, I think she is back in. That's I think that's a year, like a year old.
That's why I said that's why it's what's interesting about it is she seems normal there. Doesn't seem completely insane. And then there's other videos where she's in this conservatorship and she seems crazy.
Yep. Yeah, let's see if the
I mean, is it AI? Are they drugging her? What is going on? Because I mean, is she bipolar? What is the situation with Britney Spears? And is she this way?
Oh, she definitely seems bipolar.
Is she this way because of the way she was treated through Disney?
That's my theory, is that it has to do something with, you know, just the trauma we talked about early, when you're young, traumatizing the children so that you can control them, things like that. And so that's
something's very odd there, right?
Yeah, that's my theory that I've always thought. And I thought people knew that, and people kind of accepted that. I didn't realize that she didn't know about this whole thing.
Well, what's with the conservatorship? I don't understand what's happening there. So so they could theoretically just make something up, take it to a judge, and the state allows you to take a person in and basically monitor their every movement and control their finances and their life?
Yeah, I can't remember.
How's that legal?
Yeah, it's something to do with that, taking control because of something that's happened to you, and like psychotically or mentally or something like that. Let's look up,
because her videos that she puts out makes her out like a raging lunatic.
Yep. Conservatorship is a legal process where a judge appoints a responsible individual to manage the financial and personal affairs of an adult who is incapacitated due to age, illness, or a disability.
So would they say after 13 years, because she said she was out there for a minute, she was out, and then they brought her right back in? Is that the way you understand it? I don't pay attention to Britney Spears very much, but I probably should. Now I'm
Yeah,
starting to recognize that
I
my
think
girlfriend.
she might be out of it. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like she is out of it.
Pretty Patriot says they can tell her conservatorship person can tell her exactly what they want her to do, and if she doesn't do it, she can get put in prison or jail or prison. What in the world?
Yeah, I think she is.
Is that state law everywhere? Is that state law in California? What is the deal there?
Oh no, it's I'm pretty sure even in Missouri you can do it. Let me see.
Man, oh man. State has way too much power for my liking.
Oh yeah. Oh well, yeah, in Florida it's worse. It's
Oh, that's right. Somebody said Wendy Williams got that thing going on too. I forgot about that. The Wendy Williams, she's in the same deal.
100%. I'm trying to see if she's
Conservative.
still in it.
What am I saying? Conservatorship, right? So Wendy Williams and Britney Spears are both in that same boat. Very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said they think. Well, she said she thinks Hunter Biden is too. I think Hunter Biden is too.
Yeah, it says that it ended on November 12th, 2021.
And she's not back in, or she is?
Looks like she doesn't have it anymore.
Very odd. She's 44 years old and spent 13 years from age 31 to 44 under control of, what is it, her family? Did that control of her money? Her parents? How did that work? Do you know?
There's conservatorship was John Zabel.
I never paid attention to this story, and now I'm kind of bummed out that I didn't, because if she was being, I just look at how I didn't know the courts were this corrupt. You know, the whole thing with Jeff Winehouse has changed my complete perception of reality, because I used to think that the courts, even when you had overwhelming evidence, you were going to be able to get out of prison. Jeff Winehouse videotaped his execution, and he's still in prison, and nobody's doing anything about it. You got to get those shirts, by the way, the free Jeff Winehouse shirts.
Free Jeff Winehouse.
Travis, if you're listening, we have to get the free Jeff Winehouse shirts. I want to make a big spectacle out of that.
Oh yeah, so he is he's just a Media Finance Structures LLC is the professional services offering from John Zabel, a nationally recognized CPA. So he's just a finance guy that manages her finances and estates.
What a crazy situation. All right, let's move on from Britney Spears. I know more about that now.
Kind of crazy.
I learned a little bit about Britney Spears. Don't forget, like and share. If you're watching us on X, especially Rumble. Rumble's going to be the big one eventually. It's probably going to boil down to, when it's all said and done, it'll be Rumble, X, YouTube, and Spotify. I don't think Facebook is forever. Do you?
Oh, no. Facebook will be where we
turn into
short
clips.
Yeah, short clips, because,
Well, I want to be able to play music.
Yeah. And so on Rumble and X, we it just depends on which way we take. If we do that,
I was watching.
We still won't be able to make money if we do that off them. We wouldn't be able to make any money off the platforms if we play music.
Even Rumble?
Yeah.
Really?
They just let you do it. They just don't take you down. They just won't monetize your channel.
Really?
Yeah.
Debbie Janis says she thinks Britney Spears recently had a drive under the influence charge.
I wonder if she did.
Listen to how fast you type. Very impressive.
Yeah, May 4th. 20 days ago.
Driving while intoxicated?
Yep. Pulled over on March 4th in Ventura County, California, after someone called 911 about erratic driving.
What a tortured soul, that poor girl. I feel bad for her, because I feel she was like this sweetheart of a child, and something went crazy somewhere along the way.
Oh, she was under 0.08.
Under?
Yep.
She just wasn't driving properly.
Yeah.
Or somebody was trying to mess with her. Could be anything. Could be somebody that saw Britney Spears and wanted to cause trouble for you. You never know.
Oh my gosh. And she got sentenced to 12 months of probation still. And fined $571. I guess maybe for some type of erratic driving. It was reduced, it says.
All right, let's get to this one, because I got to get to this story before the end of the day. So this is the massacre of the innocents. Are you aware of this Jeffrey Epstein email trail that was going on?
Perhaps. Let
me tell you a story.
Pretty deep in the Epstein stuff.
Here's the story. All right, here's the story. So, Massacre of the Innocents was the name of a painting that Jeffrey Epstein was ordering for his ranch down in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that is very interesting is the Podestas. Are you aware of the Podestas and their pornographic child pornography art that they have all over their homes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they were doing an interview one time, and John Podesta is the one that's attached to the Clintons, but he's got a brother. Can't think of his brother's name, but his brother's doing an interview, and they're walking through his house, and it's just an interview. And he's nobody's even paying attention, and they have these crazy child pornography paintings all over the house as they're walking through. I'm like, holy smokes! And people started asking questions about it. Then you have the John Podesta and the WikiLeaks drops and the hot dogs, and everybody knows those stories. Well, here we go with Jeffrey Epstein. I thought this story is fantastic. This guy does a nice job of explaining it, but he's ordering Jeffrey Epstein in the Epstein Files email releases is ordering a painting called the Massacre of the Innocents. Massacre of the Innocents. And they are there's a long string of emails back and forth where he's trying to buy this particular painting. So this social media influencer went out and explained it. Clip number 18. Check this out. So there's a lot to be said about what's going on with the Jeffrey Epstein files. And if you want some good news about the Jeffrey Epstein files, Thomas Massie said it is law. So if this administration leaves, it is still law. They have to release every ounce of everything, unredacted. 100% of it is by law. So right now, the Trump DOJ is out of compliance with the law because they have not released everything. And he says the Jeffrey Epstein, whatever legislation they put forth, demands that the DOJ release every ounce of information that they have surrounding the Jeffrey Epstein files to the public and to Congress. And as of now, according to him, they haven't done it yet. Clip number 18. Check it out.
Let's say this. So while the government is busy telling us all about aliens, I thought I would just remind everybody exactly why they're doing that. And also exactly why all the things that are happening in the world right now are happening. It's because emails like this from the Epstein files exist. We're just going to go ahead and read this email together. And I warn you, it's pretty dark. Hi, Rich. Jeffrey is asking if you can FedEx the painting he had made of the Massacre of the Innocents to the ranch. It's the large 9x9 canvas that we had rolled out for him to see in the entryway where they are killing. He wants to use it on the ranch and is hoping you could FedEx it to arrive by Wednesday. Thanks, Sarah. Now, I know many of you are probably immediately thinking, do we know that this is actually real? Like, prove it. Okay. And by the way, this is not a promotion. I don't get anything from this, but thanks to my boys over at Web, I was actually able to deep dive into this and figure out that it absolutely is real and that there's a lot more to it. Let's go ahead and read this breakdown from Web. Yes, this email exists. The document EFTA 005-63164 PDF is in the collection and matches your text exactly. It's a single-page email from Sarah Kay to Rich Barnett dated Sunday, July 10th, 2011, requesting that FedEx a 9x9 painting of the Massacre of the Innocents to Epstein's ranch by Wednesday. Interestingly, this is just one piece of a much larger paper trail. The collection contains at least 9 documents related to this painting, tracing its commission and delivery over several months. November 2010, Epstein was exchanging emails with an art intermediary, Mark, about potential purchases of actual Rubens, $45 million, and Caravaggio, $40 million paintings, using a reference to the Rubens Massacre of the Innocents that sold for $72 million in 2002. December 2010, someone, likely Sarah Kay, corresponded with Ocean's Bridge, a company that produces reproduction paintings, ordering an OP Massacre of the Innocents at 9x9, 5 feet for $1,999. February 2011, a follow-up email asked about delivery timing for the same order, shipping to 9 East 71st Street, New York, 10021, which is Epstein's townhouse address. and then, of course, the July 11th situation. So the painting was ordered in December 2010, delivered to Epstein's New York townhouse, and by July 2011, he wanted it shipped to his ranch. The subject line in your version is blank, which matches the document. The original email has no subject line. Phrasing "where they are killed" is a literal and rather blunt description of the painting's biblical subject matter, the biblical massacre of the innocents ordered by King Herod, not an allegation. Just imagine what's in the other 3.5 million files that haven't been released and will probably never be released. And once again, everything that's happening right now, the war in Iran, all the chaos, Thomas Massie being pushed out, all the people who wanted disclosure for the Epstein files being pushed out or being slandered or being called traitors or being called fake MAGA or doomers or whatever, all this alien bullcrap, all of these things. That's all being done because of the Epstein files. All of that is being done because of emails like this in the Epstein files. At least that's what I believe. But hey, I'm just a conspiracy theorist. Bet you didn't see.
Pretty good, right?
Oh yeah. Here's the email. I pulled it up from the Epstein files myself.
So check this out. I just think this is odd that this isn't more news, right? If Jeffrey Epstein, because we're going to play a clip here in just a minute where Jeffrey Epstein, where Pam Bondi claims that Jeffrey Epstein had thousands of videos with him, pornographic situations with underage people.
Yeah. So it says, "Hi, Rich. Jeffrey's asking if you can FedEx the painting he had made of the massacre of the innocents to the ranch. It's the large 9x9 canvas that we had rolled out for him to see in the entryway where they are killing babies. He wants us to use it on the ranch and is hoping you could FedEx it to arrive by Wednesday." And that's the painting.
This is it. Can you blow that up? I can't really see it. Let me see.
Yep. So you see this guy. He's got this baby right here. He's throwing it down. You see, stabbing this mother who seems to be dropping babies here, right? Babies down. Let me turn the comments off here so we can see. Babies on the ground here.
The mother's trying to hold the baby. They're trying to get to it.
Yep. Right here, you see this kid. Some blood there with this baby here.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Now, who in the hell would want that in their home?
It's just art, Rob.
You know anything about it?
No. I think it's what they just said was that, didn't I hear it right? That it has something to do with the, which I can look right here. Yep. Yeah. So it does have to do with the massacre of the innocents in Bethlehem with the Gospels. So King Herod ordered the death of all children 2 and under because that way he can make sure he killed Jesus is what his goal was. Because he was King Herod, and they were saying that this was going to be the Messiah and he was going to be the King of the Jews, and he's the King of the Jews, so he didn't want anyone else to be the king, so he declared that they would be killed.
That's how that works, huh?
What'd you say?
That's the story, huh?
Yeah, it's in Matthew 2, if you want to read it.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So here's a guy that is working alongside a bunch of different politicians in America, and he wants a painting of a biblical, what would I call it? A biblical
biblical imagery, I guess you could say, a narrative.
Biblical story.
Yeah.
Killing of babies to basically kill Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Here, I'll pull up the verses for us too, so you can see.
And he was working with Israel. We now know that because we have audio of him working with Ehud Barak. And then one of the Epstein survivors supposedly said Ehud Barak raped her along with who's the attorney? Alan Dershowitz.
Yep, Alan Dershowitz.
He was involved.
What a crazy guy.
And nobody sees anything here. Nobody.
I can tell you how many videos I've. Sorry.
Nobody thinks we're in trouble as a country here. Nobody sees these kind of just all these things kind of tying together.
Yeah.
How can that be, Isaiah? How can people not see it? Why do you think it is that they can't see it? We just went through the media. We went through the two people that Donald Trump just put onto his administration, or he's going to. It's going to be Kevin Warsh, right? Another Israeli Zionist. Elise Stefanik, another Zionist. Mike Huckabee, Zionist. Ted Cruz, Zionist. Pete Hegseth, Zionist. Marco Rubio, Zionist. All of them, everybody involved is a Zionist. And if you're not a Zionist, they get you out of there and they bring you back. They bring back a Zionist to fill the spot.
Yep. This is Matthew 2.
Go ahead, read. That's good.
So this is so essentially, you go through Matthew 1 has the genealogy of Jesus, the boring stuff. It's like, oh, this is how this is where Jesus' lineage, and it's just tracing his lineage back. I believe Matthew, I can't remember off the top of my head. Matthew does one, Luke does the other. One of them is tracing the lineage to Abraham, and one's to David, I believe. And so this is the visitation of the wise men coming to King Herod. And so he is telling them, go and search diligently for the child. And when you have found him, bring me word that I too may come and worship him. And so then they, now as they departed from Jesus, this is talking about the wise men, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, rise, take the child and his mother and flee to Egypt. And so the Joseph, Mary flew with Jesus to Egypt. I don't know if you know this, but Jesus grew up in Egypt, funny enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then Herod saw that they had been tricked by the wise men, because the wise men took a different route and they didn't go back to King Herod and tell him about this. And he became furious. And then he sent and killed the male children in Bethlehem and in all that region who were 2 years and old and under, according to the time that he had ascertained from the wise men, meaning that's when Jesus was born. So it had been about 2 years since Jesus had been born. That's why he did 2 years.
Jeffrey Epstein wants a 9x9 painting of the Massacre of Innocents, which is a religious story about the King Herod trying to kill all kids under the age of 2 in Bethlehem to try to get to Jesus, because they're saying he's the Messiah, and King Herod says, no, I'm king of the Jews. There is no Messiah other than me. And Jeffrey Epstein, who was very highly involved in affairs in America, aligned with Mossad and Israel, obviously with Ehud Barak, and nobody cares. Nobody thinks that's odd. It's just strange to me that these kind of stories aren't being brought up, because I think the one who had it most figured out was Catherine Austin Fitts when she talked about Jeffrey Epstein, and so did Whitney Webb. They said, the sexual allegations and the underage girls being trafficked. She said that's a piece of it. She said, but the major piece that needs to be talked about is the banking industry and the financial and the dark money and all the things that were going on with the intelligence operations. She said that's the story. She said the cover story with the sexual allegations and the pedophilia, she goes, it's not that that's not a big story, but it's all aligned with the big banks and the big money and the intelligence agencies. And that's what they're talking about. And that's what seems to make the most sense. Because he was involved with Bear Stearns. He was involved with Les Wexner. And it just seems like Donald Trump is all involved. So we get rid of Jeffrey Epstein, but then Donald Trump surrounds himself with all the people that would have been in love with Jeffrey Epstein. Isaiah.
And he tells MTG, lay off, you're going to hurt my friends. Talking about the Epstein files.
That's what he said. If you release this information, you're going to hurt my friends. That's what he told MTG. That's what she says he said.
Mm-hmm. How it goes.
It seems a little bit scary, though, because it does feel like there is foreign influence. And I don't know that Israel is the base of it. A lot of people think Israel is just a proxy for Britain, right?
The crown,
Or it's just a hub for a Zionist ideology, and it'll be used.
Which would make, it does make sense. If you know the history of the founding of Israel, the League of Nations through the British mandate, in charge of the mandated Palestine. That's was all done with the British government. So
we got to ask Donna, because Donna says, I can take hearing the criticism of Trump, just can't take all. It just can't be all. I pray people see the bigger picture. Think of the last 20 presidents. I kind of think, see, my perception of what's going on here, and the reason I'm skeptical of Trump is I see it getting worse than all the other presidents because he's better at it. I think they're all charlatans. The only one that I thought maybe wasn't a charlatan was Trump. I thought every president since I've been alive, outside of Reagan, who I still not really sure what was going on there. They did try to assassinate Reagan. They actually shot him and almost killed him. They didn't nick the ear. They really got to him. But it appears to me that they've all been full of crap, every single one of them, right? Just working for something bigger than we understand. I was hoping Donald Trump would be the period at the end of that sentence and we start having a government of, by, and for the people. But I'm 10 years later and I don't see what everybody else is seeing. I just don't see it. I want to see it. I'm begging for people to show me what they're talking about. But every time they say it, it just doesn't make any sense to me. That's what I would say. Don.
What do you think about the Q?
I'm not trying to cause trouble for Donald Trump because I don't think Donald Trump's going to get reelected. So I really don't even care if we're critical of him or not, because he's insignificant, because he's not going to have any more elections on his behalf. It's over, right? Constitutionally, he can't have another election. So if we're going to be critical, now would be the time to do it. I don't see all these good things that Donald Trump is doing. I don't see anything that Donald Trump is doing is good, other than for a short amount of time, maybe control the borders. Other than that, which will go right back to being wide open as soon as he's out of there. I don't see all the good things that he's doing. What am I missing? That's what I want to know. What is it? Where's all the good things, that are real, not the nonsense that the executive orders of the things he wants to do and the things he's going to do in the future and this, that, and the other. What are the good things? Donna, list those for me. Whatever those are, just list those for me. Because I might be missing it. I'm not saying I just don't see it. I don't know what it is. I look at my life, Isaiah, and I say, look, I'm in the middle class. I know a bazillion people. I go back and forth from Florida to St. Louis. I travel the whole country. I have friends all over the entire country. And there are a very small amount of people that are happy with Donald Trump. It's not a big group of people, yet you would think that he's the most popular president in the history of the world, despite the fact with conservative groups giving polling at under 30%. They still act like he's this incredibly popular person. I'm like, well, his polling from conservative pollsters that Donald Trump used to cite, he's under 30%. Under 30%. It's hard to do.
Yes.
I think Manson was right around 30%. So if you're under 30%, that tells me that you're not real popular. And he's not real popular because I just filled up my gas tank yesterday. How much, filled up my gas tank, Isaiah?
How much?
It was $80.
Oh, yeah.
You like them apples? $80 to fill up your gas? That ain't bad.
Oh, yeah.
And then I went to get some groceries, right? For the day. How much do you think groceries for the day would cost a normal person, Isaiah? Just to make a little food, some homemade food.
Should be $6. Oh, for one day?
$37 for 1 day's worth of food for two people.
Oh my gosh.
37. That's from the grocery store buying cheap, looking for stuff that's on sale.
Jeez.
So $37 for 1 day's worth of food and $79 and some change to fill up my car, my wife's little Mazda SUV. That's for 1 day. Now, if you can afford it, great, but I would assume many people cannot afford that, so that's not good. Then you had people that wanted the Epstein files released, and then he said that was a joke. Then he said, that we were going to cut the energy prices in half. They've doubled, right? Said he wasn't going to start any wars. Then we started wars.
Said that we're deporting. So this is something that
every single person that is here illegally. Then it was only the people that were not in agricultural and hospitality.
And listen to this. This just came out the other day. Tom Homan's claiming that there's 800,000 deportations between January 2025 and May 2026. And at least 400,000 of those are, quote, border returns, end quote. And so that means that only 400,000 total interior removals in the last 18 months, which is an annualized rate of a little more than 250,000 per year, which Trump said we would need about 2.5 million per year to deport to get all the illegals out. I mean, more than that, really, because it's 2.5 times 4 is, what is that? Yeah, that is 10. Okay.
So here's Donna. Donna said, I'm poor. What was this one?
Yeah.
It's painful right now. I'm willing to go through it. I support Donald Trump. Why are we going through? What do we think is going to happen, though? And when will we know, I guess is my question. When, if Donna's right and this all works out.
The Q crowd say that, too.
Why are we going through it, though? Why are we starting wars when the president said he wasn't going to start any wars and didn't say it once? He said it like 1,000 times.
Yeah. President of peace, peace through strength. Because we're going to be so strong that we don't need to get into wars. They're just going to be scared of us. Right.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I don't get that because I voted for that. You know what I mean? I voted for someone that's going to make us so tough and be so tough of a negotiator that we don't get into wars because of the things that you do.
When your country has the kind of power that it has, there's no reason to be at war with anybody. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Right. When you're as powerful as the United States government and we have the reach, global reach from the skies, we can drop drones on top of you. We can drop missiles and hit a gnat right in the forehead if we want to. We got nuclear bombs. We got all kinds of energy pulsing technology. We have
your heartbeat miles away from that
We're
soldier
RP
number.
miles away. We can break into any computer system. We can do this. We can do that. We're the greatest technological country in the world. That's how you stay out of wars, is to have that kind of power. In America, we have all the power, and then we tell our citizens that everybody else is the enemy so that we can go fight wars with people that don't have a chance, have a chance in the world militarily to fight against us.
Yeah.
And I think we should start asking questions about that. I mean, listen, I'm not a military expert. I could be wrong, but I just think we have to ask questions. We cannot say, I disagree with Don on this particular point. I don't trust Donald Trump, and I'm not supposed to trust Donald Trump. He's supposed to be doing what we ask him to do and what he campaigned on.
What's your view of preemptive strikes? I
think it's ridiculous.
I know that verbiage and that rhetoric is thrown around a lot when it comes to Israel. These preemptive strikes, we're doing it to protect us. We're just doing it because of we know that they're going to attack us in 2 weeks, and so we can't wait that 2 weeks. So we're going to do this now. I find that pretty ridiculous. Because I thought that there were these rules of engagement. You know what I mean?
I think that this has to be required reading. The George Orwell has to be required reading. It is on
1984.
No, it's a Netflix. Let me find out where it's at. I'm looking it up right now.
I like what Larry says. The Trump hotels, casinos, and golf courses need cheap labor.
Yeah, but so the thing about Trump is, though, he's when people used to say he lies all the time, I go, oh my God, he's lied 4,755 times, this, that, and the other. Well, in this George Orwell movie, they actually do it. And now that I'm watching Donald Trump with a different lens, just a little bit different lens, they're right. He just makes stuff up all the time. But when he was running for office, we thought he was one of the insiders who knew everything about the system because he kept saying, I know the system better than anybody. So we brushed off the idea that he was lying. But in this George Orwell movie, they take something that he said, like a speech that he gave, and they highlighted all the things that were demonstrably untrue. And I had no idea, the whole time that was happening, I kept thinking to myself, this whole thing about him lying. Remember that was in they were putting it out in the magazines all the time, Isaiah. Donald Trump lied about this. He lied about this. He lied about this. He could just keep lie. And I would just dismiss it as the liberal press trying to paint Donald Trump as being some kind of liar when it's just my perception versus your perception. But they do this in this George Orwell movie, and it's kind of
Animal Farm. Is that what it's called?
No. You're talking about the books that he wrote. No, he did there's a documentary about George Orwell where it talks about his what he thought. George Orwell's 1984. What was it on? Because the question that I just found out says, is 1984 on Netflix, Hulu, or Prime? Where to watch online? It's the George Orwell documentary.
Orwell 2 + 2 = 5.
Yeah. Well, George
Hulu.
Orwell. It's on Hulu? No, I didn't watch it. I don't have George Orwell documentary.
Apple TV.
Might have been Apple.
Apple TV and Amazon Prime, it says.
Okay, there you go. That's it. Absolutely brilliant if you want to know what's going on in the world. Because he explains what Big Brother is going to look like. That's what 1984 was about, was Big Brother being able to surveil you and how they put the circumstances in place to trick people into believing that total surveillance is good for them. There it is right there. Gotta see it. I watched it on Sunday morning. Absolutely loved it. I was going to watch like 15 or 20 minutes and I was going to go in my office and get some work done because I had to get invoices out, all kinds of different stuff. And I started watching, got about 15, 20 minutes into it. And I thought, man, this is good. So I started paying. Absolutely fantastic because it talks. George Orwell could see the future because he recognized how people could be manipulated into their own hell. And it's been done before. Look at the atrocities that have been done around the world. I really think that same philosophy is being shoved down the throats of Americans, and I just do not see enough pushback from Americans. I think Americans are going to buy right in. It's just a matter of time, and I think that's what he believed. I think that's what George Orwell believed from the get go. You know what I mean? Because at this point, Isaiah, you tell me. We got to get a panel with some Donald Trump supporters. Maybe that's what we'll do one day. I'll look for 3 big Donald Trump supporters who know his history, know the things that he's done, know what policies he's put into place, and we'll just kind of walk through it. Because I think I know it better than anybody, Isaiah. That's the thing. I think I understand Donald Trump and what he said versus what he's done better than anybody because I've been an absolute freak over it from day one. I saw my one of the listeners, Bill, is in here. He goes, you can see me grinning, can't you, Rob? Because he fought back against me from the very beginning against Donald Trump. He said, how can you not see that this guy's just totally full of crap? How can you not see that, Rob? And now I know where he's coming from. But for years, I didn't. For years, I didn't see it. The first crack in the armor for me, Isaiah, was COVID. That was when it started to crack for me, right? In the elections.
I think it was a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. He said when the elections, when he said the elections were stolen, I agree with him. I still think the elections were stolen. But the idea that he hasn't done anything to ensure the elections yet gives me great pause. It gives me great pause. I was talking to this Chris Gleason. So Chris Gleason is running for Senate. I'll have him on the show this week. And he said he has all of the data about the elections being stolen. Nobody really does much with it, but he has it. He can show it to me. I think he might be able to show us on the, we might be able to tap into whatever he's got and show it on screen when he comes in. So Chris Gleason, he's running for Senate down in Florida. I had lunch with him after we met at this political meeting. And he's just telling me all the different information that he had. And I said, yeah, that's kind of exactly the way I see it too. Nothing's being done. That's been my argument when people say, well, Rob, you're on the sidelines. You're just complaining. Why don't you get into office? Why don't you run for office? And I said, well, first of all, I think I can do more from the outside than I think I can do from the inside at this particular moment.
Yeah.
But number two, how can I tell you that I think the elections are being manipulated and then jump into an election and ask all these people for money so that I can run a campaign when I say the elections are being manipulated? It doesn't even make any sense. How do I do it? It's very difficult for me.
Yeah.
To jump into it. Now,
and I thought it was interesting too. I know we watched some videos before, but Trump saying like, "Oh, you don't have to vote. It's going to be too big to rig. We're going to have so many votes. Yeah, you don't even worry about voting, right?"
See, now look at this. So, and it was a Papa Bill from Bella Vegas, whatever.
This is your guy. This is your guy.
The guy that I've known since I was a kid.
Yeah.
He said only the elections that he loses. Now you got to remember how this is playing out, right? Because say what you want about Bill, he's right. Right? So Donald Trump wins in 2016. There's nothing wrong with that election. 2020, he loses. He says it's stolen. 2024, he wins because he says it's too big to rig. And now we're in 2026 with the midterms coming up and nothing's changed. So we're 10 years after Donald Trump first won his election and nothing has changed with the way we verify elections. We don't verify elections. We don't verify elections. We don't verify them. They are not verifiable elections. It's a computer or flash drives that tells you the outcome of each particular voting county. They add those up, they post them, and that's the end of it.
Yep.
Nothing's changed.
And the electoral colleges cast their vote.
Exactly. And that's what, if you go back to January 6th, that's what it was all about, Isaiah.
Yeah.
The idea was to send it back to the states so that we could do something about the elections to make sure that Joe Biden, I can't even think Bill believes that Joe Biden got 81 million votes. I mean, come on, Bill. You don't believe that, do you? I mean, Joe Biden, please stop it. Come on. With the mask and the talking in circles and the honking at the applause lines, the whole thing was ridiculous. The eating ice cream, the falling down, the riding the bike, and all of it was just crazy. There's no way he got 81 million votes. There's no way that he got 13 million more votes than Barack Obama. That didn't happen. I mean, come on, not legal votes. I mean, he might have got votes, but they weren't legal. The whole thing was bananas. But
this guy looks like a genius. What are you talking about?
John doesn't like my shirt.
Oh, John. Come on, John.
You know why he doesn't like this shirt, though, Isaiah?
It's got the palm trees on it.
No, because the last time I played golf, I see my buddies in there, so I try to get to my buddies when they pop in. Oh, he doesn't like this shirt because this is a golf shirt that I play when I massacre him at golf. I mean, I just absolutely own this guy when we play golf. He's got to be sick and tired of it. You would think. Right?
Well, you were a good hitter, weren't you? That's what your buddy said.
When you lose to somebody over and over and over and over again, at some point you just give up and say it's enough. But this guy's been at it for 30 years, just getting beaten senseless, and he does not give up. That's what I like about John. He doesn't quit. Right? Yeah. 64, 65 years old, still getting out there and taking his butt whipping like the rest of them.
I love it. Right. Donna loves the colors. Some people wear
my Israel colors on today. That's why I was talking Israel. I wore my Israel colors today.
Yeah.
That's why I wore it.
I got an Israeli flag around here somewhere that someone gave me. I'll have to find it. It's over in my pile of stuff over there somewhere.
No, Desi, not poly. I don't wear polyester, Desi. No. Stop it. Can we do Bondi and Blanche before I get off of the because I was on the Massacre of the Innocents and then we got talking about some other stuff.
Let's do it.
Check out Bondi and Blanche. Now, I asked my Donald Trump fans, explain this to me. So Pam Bondi, Donald Trump did not want to release the files, right? That's what he got mad at MTG for. That's what he got mad at Massey for. He did not want to release these files. That was pretty obvious, right? Are we still talking about Massey? Why are we still talking about Epstein? Are we still talking about Epstein? Why are we still talking about Epstein? So Donald Trump made it clear that he did not want to release the information, right? You just read what Jeffrey Epstein was up to with the massacre of the innocents. I mean, this is a guy that is not a fan of Christians, that's for sure. Donald Trump says he's a Christian, yet is doing everything he can to align with Israel, who's bombing a Christian nation in Lebanon, where the president of Lebanon is Christian. Same with Syria. They killed the Christians. They're killing the Christians. The Donald Trump administration is involved with killing Christians in the Middle East. That is, where is it?
That's the fact, Jack! That's the fact, Jack!
And I want some answers for it. That's all. I just want some answers for it. Why are we doing this? How is this helping out America? What are we getting out of it? Is life improved for you under Donald Trump? I guess at some level it has, though, Isaiah. I got to be fair. Because when we had the George riots and all that stuff.
Absolutely. There's a lot of things. That's why I think
normalized. It does feel normalized, doesn't it? Even though we're paying higher for everything and your financial freedom is being destroyed, it does feel like life is somewhat normal again.
Yes.
Right, Isaiah? I mean, I got
not as chaotic in this craziness, right? Yes. Law enforcement has been enabled, I would say that. But I think that is the reason young people and other people that aren't young are upset about the deportations, because we've seen the safety and security. DC is a great example, right? People would say, I couldn't walk to work in DC, and now I can walk to work. And so that's what we see. But then you're telling us, oh, we gotta pull back on going into these cities and deporting people. Like, why? Because the Democrats are pushing against you. What's so bad? You know what I mean? Like, what's so bad about it?
I think that everybody that's here illegally, now, if you've been here for 15 or 20 years, maybe there is a quick path, right? You've been here 15, 20 years. You haven't caused any problems. You have some kids, this, that, and the other. Maybe there's a quick path to get you legal, right? I can understand that. I can understand how good-hearted, good Christians say, listen, I escaped Mexico, or I escaped Venezuela, or I escaped Cuba, and I made it to America. I did come illegally, but I've been here for 20 years. I've been a taxpayer. I've done this and that and the other. Can you show me a little bit of compassion and say, okay, here is what you have to do to become compliant with the law? And then, we may not make you citizen, but we won't make it illegal to be here. Right.
Well, Trump's trying to get rid of birthright citizenship too. Did you see that?
He's been trying to get that from 2016. Yeah. So we're 10 years later. He had 4 years to do it. Why didn't he do it then?
Well, I was saying that's the biggest problem that people have. That's the biggest problem people have, is that they, most people would say what you just said. They're against that. They would say, and I would say I'm against that too. I'd say just because you've been here for 20 years illegally, that I don't care, because hey, too bad, so sad. You broke the law. See you later, buddy. And that does happen to people. I have a buddy whose parents illegally came to America, never followed a legal process, never got anything legally done, and the government found out and deported. The mom got through a court case and she was able to get some type of stay. The dad was deported because he didn't follow the process. And the way I look at it, Rob, is obviously you want to be compassionate, maybe have some empathy. But if I went to Canada for 30 years and they found out, they would send me right back.
Yeah.
They would send me right back in a heartbeat. They would say, oh, you've been here for 30 years illegally? See ya, deported. They'd have
what would it look like if we deported everybody that was here illegally? I just wonder how.
That's what they're saying is the problem.
Would it clear up the streets?
Yeah.
Would it clear up our schools? Would it be a little less, if you go back and watch movies from like the 60s and 70s, you'll watch movies of California, Los Angeles, and so forth, and it's not crowded. It's busy, but it's not insane.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the problem even in St. Louis, I don't know if you know, but we have a bunch of Afghani refugees here.
Oh, we got a lot of Afghani refugees.
Yeah. We have a lot of Bosnian refugees here.
I've noticed what happens though. Here's something that I've noticed. When the American government goes and bombs the Middle East, Middle Easterners end up in Europe and the United States. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. That's my point. That's why I want to have mercy. I want to be compassionate, but sorry, not sorry kind of thing, you
Who
know?
was running the border when we let in all these illegal immigrants? Do you know his name?
Which one?
Do you remember who let in all these people on the border during the Biden administration? You know who that was?
Who was it specifically?
DHS, Alejandro
Yeah.
Mayorkas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what is Alejandro Mayorkas? Is he Muslim, letting all the Muslims in? What was he, Isaiah, if you remember?
I have no idea.
He's a Cuban Jew. He was on the board of HIAS, Hebrew Immigration.
Well, that's where immigration started.
That's what I'm
Right?
saying.
But-
So
yeah.
the guy that is supposed to patrol the border, or constitutionally control the border, not only did he not control the border, he allowed millions of illegal immigrants into the interior of our country, and nothing ever happened to him. Donald Trump doesn't mention his name. If Donald Trump is so concerned about the border, why wouldn't he file charges of some kind, or at least make his life miserable? Alejandro Mayorkas.
Mhm.
Right? Bring up Alejandro Mayorkas on the screen real fast. These are the questions that I think if we had it's like I always say, if we had real journalism, people would have a much more, even the boomer age people, even the Fox News people, even the people that still believe that Donald Trump is going to save this country from impending doom. If you would ask the right questions of Donald Trump, then you could understand where he's coming from. We're supposed to know where Donald Trump is coming from. That's part of the deal. We're not supposed to guess what he's up to and hope that he's up to some 5D chess. We're supposed to be able to say, hey, Donald Trump, Darth Fauci lied to Americans day after day after day after day. He is the one that used American dollars to fund gain of function research in Wuhan, according to the story. How is he not in prison? If China is the enemy and I'm sending taxpayer dollars over to China to build a super weapon that will be used against Americans that you say killed millions of people, then why are you putting medals of commendation around the throat of Darth Fauci? Is that a fair question, Isaiah? Is that a question that we should ask?
And the what was it, the Medal of Freedom or something for Miriam
Adelson, perfect example, dual citizen, and said right in front of everybody that I think she cares more about Israel than the United States, which according to the IHRA anti-Semitism laws, that would be anti-Semitic. Right? Just questions. I think if we just ask the questions right, we'd be fine. Okay, so here's Alejandro Mayorkas. What's it say about him?
His father, Charles R. Nicky Mayorkas, was born in Cuba. He was a Cuban Jew of Sephardi and Ashkenazi background.
Shocker. So wait a minute. So let me, I just want to make sure that I got it straight, because let's just see if I got it right. So John F. Kennedy was murdered. They released the files. If you release the files on John F. Kennedy, it appears very likely that Mossad and Israel and very powerful Jewish interests were at least in line or involved in the assassination of John F. Kennedy. If you got to read those files, I read them on air too many times to count, right? That would be one. Then in 1967, you have the USS Liberty attack, where the state of Israel and their military bomb a U.S. ship called the USS Liberty, to which surviving members were told to keep their mouth shut about it, and they'll be on my show on Wednesday to talk about it. And then I'm supposed to do a MC event on June the 20th down in South Florida with these same guys, right? Now you have another war with Iraq that Benjamin Netanyahu said, if we just take out Iraq, everything's going to be fine. Saddam Hussein's a bad guy. Then it was Syria. Then it was Libya. Then it was Egypt. Now it's Lebanon. And now we're moving into Iran, right? All of these wars have led to mass migration from the wealthy. The wealthy people don't want to be in war zones, do they, Isaiah? I think the wealthy people, if like they start bombing DeLand, Florida, I'm getting out of DeLand, Florida immediately. Right? I'm rolling.
Right?
Bombs are dropping on DeLand. Robb Carter and his family are out of DeLand immediately. Right? So the wealthy Muslims, they leave the Middle East because their areas are being bombed and their kids are dying and the people around them are dying, and their of ability to live a good life is over. So they start to move around. They move into Europe. They move into the United States. They move into the United States based on policy by Alejandro Mayorkas, who's also Jewish. As our country's being destroyed with replacement, what do they call it? Replacement. What do they call it?
Which one?
When they replace the white people with the dark skinned people, what do they call it? Replacement theology? Is that what it's called?
Oh, no.
The
oh my gosh, you just had my mind thinking remigration, or yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just
right? They're trying to replace white people, and they're bringing people from around the world into our country. But who's the one that allowed it to happen? Who was the biggest advocate for illegal immigration when he was supposed to be protecting the border? Was Alejandro Mayorkas, who was another Jewish person, another Zionist, another person aligned with Israel, another person aligned with mass immigration replacement.
Yeah,
Replacement.
it's called the Great Replacement Theory is what it's called.
But I'll tell you what, it is very difficult not to recognize that this is happening. Let me get a couple more advertisers in.
Let's do it.
We got
a jet.
Yeah, we got to roll here. Let's do Rack Custom Coatings, my friend Rich McQuay.
Rack Custom Coating. You just made me think a little squirrel moment while I'm pulling up Rack. Did you know that funny enough, is called the St. Louis was a ocean liner from Germany that carried Jewish passengers in 1939, and it was supposed to come and land in Cuba, but the Cuban government turned them away. They came over to America, and President Roosevelt turned them away. And then and then supposedly all the Jewish immigrants died in the Holocaust, is what they say.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Very
interesting.
I heard this Derek Johnson, so we should answer that before I get into Rack Custom Coating. Says, just curious, listen to Derek Johnson. What is the Derek Johnson? I do know some of this story. Is he the one that says is Derek Johnson the one that it's like continuation of government type guy? Is that him? Shelley,
sure.
Continuous of government. Is that what he's talking about? Where it's a military operation, and he's got all the data out there, and there's a roadmap for how the military is going to basically take over.
Need a Christian artist. Yeah, Christian musician or a well-known professional baseball coach or a country artist. Okay.
Who is Derek Johnson that you're talking about?
Yeah.
There you go. That's true right there.
Joe.
He's right, though.
It's true. Rack Custom Coatings, baby.
Yes, he is. So I was right. So I think he's the one with the continuation of government. I have listened to him. I think that it makes perfect sense because I think it is designed to make perfect sense, but I don't think it's reality. Does that make sense, Isaiah? I think it makes perfect sense if you want to like Q makes perfect sense. Like Donald Trump's executive orders make perfect sense. All of these things make perfect sense to create theories in your mind because your mind wants to go with good. You have to listen to Yuri Bezmenov explain this to people. Yuri Bezmenov explains it perfectly. But they plant this information so that you will believe this information. And then somebody like Donald Trump comes in and says, one bad, one good, one bad, one good, one bad, one good. His enemies are your enemies, and then they become his friends, and then you're confused, and you have this original belief deep down in your soul that Donald Trump is good and he's coming to save the day. When in reality, we don't know what's going on in the world because we have no concept of what's really happening. And it could just be a con job to where they plant these stories and they plant these things that make perfect sense, but it's not based in the reality that you see around you, Isaiah. That's really what it boils down to is, are you seeing those things happen? Because if you're not seeing them happen, if we're just talking about it in theory and, okay, this is just another, this is what's going to happen here. This is what's going to happen next. This is what's going to happen next. And this is all going to happen. My argument with that, just on a common sense platform, is wouldn't our enemies see that too? Isaiah, do you think that we're figuring it out in my office in DeLand, Florida, and somebody is figuring it out from their basement over in someplace in West County, Missouri? But our enemies who are looking at the same information, they haven't figured that out yet. They don't have a plan B for that. That's what we're supposed to believe. Okay. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Rack Custom Coatings.com. Locally owned and operated, family owned since 2001. Again, if you have a home that you love, and the last piece to make your home look beautiful is the finishing of your garage floor, I got to tell you, it just makes such a difference in the way your home looks. I did it back in the old days. I get it done here too, but I love the way it looks. If you're a homeowner, you're going to stick around that home. You want to make it look beautiful. You got nice cars that are coming in, and you don't want the oil stains all over the floors and it all looks messy and dirty, and the spider webs and the nonsense in your garage looks crappy. And then you walk into your house and it's beautiful. Fix up that garage door. RackCustomCoatings.com. Rich McQuay, as he likes to say, we install industrial strength, long-lasting coatings built to handle anything your home or business can throw at it. And from garages to commercial spaces, Rack Custom Coatings delivers tough, beautiful finishes that last. Where quality meets craftsmanship, give them a call, 636-398-5040. Again, industrial spaces and or garages, he will take care of you. It will look so much better. It'll blow your mind. It's one of those luxuries that once you have it, you're like, man, did that make a big difference in the way this particular room looked and or your garage. Rack, R-A-K, Custom Coating's been around since 2001. Big, proud supporter of this particular program. Somebody we got to do business with. RackCustomCoatings.com, 636-398-5040. Isaiah, we have to remind ourselves to get cards from him and pass them out to all of the dealerships that we contact with out in Missouri. Rack Custom Coatings. And then finally, when it's time for lunch, it's time for Moe's Pizza, a landmark in Washington, Missouri. Great pizza, great salad bar, delicious chicken wings, delicious sandwiches, and the best ice cream I've ever had. Touch my lips. There it is. Mike and Brenda Johns, great people. If you have any kind of gathering out in the area, whether it be birthday parties, anniversaries, political meetings, Bible studies, any kind of get-together, always think Moe's Pizza, a landmark in Washington, Missouri. As he likes to tell me, God owns the place. He just works there. Moe's Pizza at the corner of Grand and 5th Street in Washington, Missouri. Moe's Pizza, get there. All right, Isaiah. I thought I had one more story I wanted to get to. Yeah, we get to a couple of local things, and we'll talk about it just a little bit tomorrow.
Yes, I do got to run, though.
Okay, this will take 2 minutes. I've officially endorsed Jen Olson for the Director of Elections in St. Charles County. That's a big deal to me. I met with Chris Gleason. I'm going to try to get her some more endorsements from people that are like-minded, hand-counted paper ballots. He must have said it 10 times.
She got some big ones.
Yeah, she got some big endorsements, and she's starting to catch a little bit of traction, I believe. Yeah. I think Jen Olson is, when she was on the school boards, she was outspoken. She is somebody that's very involved in taking on government, and especially corrupt and poor government. I love this clip of her. I want people to watch it. This is in the Missouri Capitol. She's given testimony for something she didn't like, and listen to the response from the chair lady and the response from Jen Olson, who's running for Director of Elections in St. Charles County, because this is how we do it. This is how we do it. Boom, Jen Olson, check it out.
Children's lives will be permanently scarred because of this. Their parents will be tortured by their own government. If this legislation makes it one more day in this building, you are declaring war on every parent and family in the state of Missouri. In closing, in the words of Senator Rick Bratton on the floor of the Senate just yesterday, who in the heck do you people think you are? What gives you the right or the authority to permit the government to seize our children against our will and give them away to a stranger forever? I'll take your questions or an apology to the families of Missouri.
Are you finished, lady?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know who I am?
You know who I am.
You are the chairwoman of this committee.
Yes.
That's about it.
Let's get straight to the point here. You came here today presuming a lot of things. You'll notice
this is my testimony, ma'am.
This is the people's house.
Yes, it is.
And here in the people's house, there is a process to follow. And in this committee room, I expect statesmanship and I expect respect given and received. Okay? And in this committee room, we will give respect. And in this committee room, we will remember that this committee's goal and objective must always be about what is right for the children. It must not be about politics. It must not include anger, and it must not include any other agenda than working together for the best outcome of the children. Are we clear?
May I speak?
Yes, you may.
Your restrictions sound a bit like a violation of my First Amendment.
I'm giving you a chance to talk by this inquiry.
No, I'm done, but you just put a whole lot of restrictions on the speech of people in this room. And I would like to point out to the chairwoman that this is protected under constitutional case law in New York Times v. Sullivan, where people can come before a committee or any elected body in an open forum such as this, where you provide us time to speak to you. And our criticism of you can be vehement and caustic. That's a direct quote from the Supreme Court. So I would suggest that the statements made by the chairwoman be retracted for the rest of the people in this room who plan to speak after me. In order to not violate the rest of our First Amendment rights.
How about that? That's great.
It's fantastic.
We need more people like that in government. We need more people that understand their role, what they're supposed to be doing, like Jen Olson did there. Jen Olson, for Director of Elections in St. Charles County. Get out there, vote for her, pay attention. If we get one big win, one win, I want it to be Jen Olson in St. Charles County, because that is the beginning of getting our country back. We just need one big county in America to get back to hand counting paper ballots. It will cascade across all of America, around Missouri and America, and all of a sudden we'll have a chance at having control of our government again, which would be wonderful, I think. There she is, Jen Olson. All right, everybody. That's all I got for you. Isaiah, have a great day. I'll be in touch with you soon. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Memorial Day, baby.
Memorial Day. Enjoy your Memorial Day, everybody. Just want to thank all the soldiers who put the life on the line for us. We appreciate it. We always appreciate it. We are big fans of our soldiers. We'll have some.
Only reason we're able to have this show and speak like we do and criticize Israel and criticize our government is because of the soldiers, right?
That's right. We get to criticize our government because of the people that fought for our freedom, and never forget that. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on the Robb Carter Show. Have a great day, everybody. Isaiah, I'll talk to you soon.
See you guys.